K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Brought to you by J. Michael. Sandy's on with Blake and Aaron. Good morning, Sandy.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Getting there. Slowly.
Technical difficulties figure.
Yep, we're back.
Sweet.
All right.
What's going on?
So the police are warning, they're issuing a number of warnings. The first one is, 'tis the season. In other words, scammers really ramp up. They need Christmas money, apparently. So they really ramp up their efforts this time of year, which means that you, the public, need to be much more vigilant in your efforts to keep your money safe.
Mm-hmm.
So do not, under any circumstances, give anybody any private information, any bank account information. In fact, when you see messages like that, if it's not your primary bank that you're in contact with and someone specifically that you know, my recommendation is just to hit the delete button.
Yeah.
Don't even read it. Don't respond to it. Don't click on it. And so now there's also a fraudulent Visa page in circulation. And so this is pretty interesting. If you have a Jamaican passport, this is now something else that you also need to be on the lookout for. It just doesn't stop.
Well, you got to go to a government entity to get a visa.
Exactly.
So,
for sure. But if you see it, in a passport, folks, basically you've got to be able to discern what's legit from what isn't. And if you're in doubt, just be on the safe side and assume that it's fraudulent until you can prove otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best advice I could give you. Mm-hmm. So there's Tesla recalled all of its vehicles in the US, but not to worry. It's in relation to their autopilot feature. So after a 2-year investigation by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration into a series of crashes, some unfortunately deadly, while the autopilot is partially automated or in use, the Tesla company has decided that they would do a recall of over 2 million vehicles. Now, the good news is this recall simply means that they will be sending out a software update. Because it's not like you have to take the car anywhere or you have to do anything else. The company said that they did not concur with the agency's analysis, but agreed to add some new features to resolve the concerns, including additional checks for turning on self-driving features. It's like the story that I heard many, many years ago where somebody was using a self-driving feature. This is like when it first came out, like way back in the day. It wasn't even self-driving then. It was cruise control.
Oh,
and they thought it was self-driving. This was in Okinawa, Japan. So they turned it on and got in the back seat to go take a nap. Crawled in the back. That didn't end well.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one, but no, that doesn't end well. However, I do think if there were self-driving cars on this island and everyone had a self-driving car, it would solve a lot of traffic problems.
Yeah, maybe. Make sure self-driving works.
Yeah, once it works, you know what I mean? Like no one drives anymore. Everyone's now driving the right way, all the traffic laws. I think traffic would flow a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 15 young Caymanians have been recognized as proud of them at the Proud of Them ceremonies. And congrats to all of these young folks. Everything from an accomplished dancer, decorated athlete, young mental health activists were among some of the 15 whose achievements and talents were celebrated. So the theme for this year was inspiration in action. So congrats to all of those young folks. And breaking news this morning that you hear exclusively here on Spilling the Tea with Sandy and KISS 106.1 FM, there is some police action in Southtown this morning. So if the residents, down by the tides and closer to San Sebastian. So if some of you residents were kind of wondering what's going on, well, apparently so far 6 packages of ganja have washed ashore, possibly more to come. And so the police are on location now, attending to the scene and securing those packages.
All righty.
All right. You have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday.
You too. We'll see you tomorrow, Sandy.
Awesome.
Bye.
All right, folks, we got about 20 seconds left here and we are going to get started. So relax, sit back. I'm just going to grab some links real quick.
bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio. We are still spilling the tea and committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman, live, direct, it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
All right, rise and shine, beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? That everybody's good. What's going on, K-Man? Happy Thursday. Good morning to everyone. So I'm still here with the sniffles and snuffles and flu and everything else, as you can hear. Somebody said yesterday, "Ooh, but Sandy, that's making your voice sound so sexy." I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy. I don't need a sexy voice. I just want to feel good. What to do? Good morning, beautiful people. Let's see who's with me. Vernita. Good morning, Diamond Princess. Wishing everybody a lovely day. Oh, let me turn on the camera so y'all can see me. There we go. Hello. I just did some madness with the hair today. I find some mornings the crazier the hair is, the better it looks in a way. On camera anyway. Maybe not in person. In person, it might still look a little bit crazy. So, good morning to Miss Olivia. Siobhan is here nice and early. Pat is also with us. Good morning to Miss Iva. Hello, Siobhan. Dawn, good to see you. Oh my God, KK says in response to the ganja being found this morning, she's like, Christmas money gone. Should have been me that found it. Lord Jesus. No, KK. You don't want that. Trust me. Good morning to Miss Alice. How are you? Yeah, somebody was trying to bring it in. It doesn't usually come in at South Sound, so maybe the winds of change are a little bit different. But what a hot mess, I tell you. So, yep, I'll give you what we know on that here in just a second. Not a whole lot, really, but Marcia, good morning to you. She said, good morning to the queen of the cold hard truth. Thank you, Miss Marcia. Evelyn in the house. Felicia Rankin is here. We got Dean Sinclair, Robert Ebanks in the house, Juanita Ebanks, and Keisha Gordon, and lots more. I see y'all silently logging on like, hello, Miss Sandy. Hi, Miss Eunice. I see you. Everybody good? This cold and flu, it seems like everybody has it. It's been going around. At plus COVID, I've heard that there's been a resurgence of COVID as well. What a ting. It's like now when you get sick, you're like, okay, do I have the cold, the flu, COVID combination? Because I think you can get both at the same time even. My God, what a hot mess. I don't know how you'd know if you had both at the same time. Like you'd probably just assume that it was, if you tested positive for COVID, you'd probably just go with that, right? But who knows? Oh my goodness. Anyway, here we are. I hope that if you have it, that you're doing okay. Poor Miss Stacy. She was the last of the Mohicans around here. She finally got it as well. Marlon got it. Gigi had it first, passed it on to me. And then it's been like a domino effect since then. What can you do? You just gotta go with it. So lots going on in the news. So this morning we received a report of let me see here. We received a report of some ganja having washed up on our shores. Unfortunately, this isn't entirely unusual. I hate to say it, but most of the time it tends to come in to East End. So this time it came in South Sound, and I think it's just really the winds that probably would have done that. It's a little bit too risky for them to actually have it come into South Sound, which tends to be a very, very busy area. Now, my sources have revealed that a lot of people in East End are unfortunately very, very much aware of the fact that, these drugs are coming in. Some of them are part of the problem. They're involved in the landing of the drugs. And then others are actively some are actively involved in the landing of the drugs. And then others are also just turning a blind eye to the situation. So either way, I would really, really recommend that, this is not something that's good for the community, because when those drug boats come in, they tend to have a number of different things on them, not just ganja. Like some people want to make it about, what's the problem with a little bit of ganja smoking here, there, and everywhere. It really isn't that. It's that, it's an illegal trade, and anybody who's involved in legal activity, whether it's gambling, you saw the case in Jamaica the other day, that unfortunate case where the brother and sister lost their life because of their involvement in criminality. So you can't just take the position that, what do I care? It's just a little bit of, the herb, as people like to call it, because on those same boats, you have criminals coming in, and these criminals are involved not just in the export and import of ganja, but other drugs, any kind of drugs that they can get their hands on. Normally, ganja is just the easiest one, probably, coming out of Jamaica, but any drugs that they can move, whether it's cocaine, meth, whatever. Meth hasn't really taken on a life of its own yet in this community, and I sure hope it doesn't. But, any pills that they can get their hands on, they're going to be about that life. And so in addition to that, of course, you also have them moving criminals between the jurisdictions as well. So they do move criminals back and forth. And they also move weapons, which is of a real concern. The criminals and the weapons are the two biggest thing that is concerning. So this is, somebody was trying to make probably a little bit of extra cash before the Christmas holidays. But, they do it all the time. So I don't even think it's related to Christmas. It's just that this time it came closer to shore in the South Sound area. Good morning to Miss Wee Wee. Keisha, good morning. Patricia Blake in the house. Lily Boo. Hey, Lily Boo. How are you? Lizette is here. Alejandro's in the house. Good morning to Alejandro. How are you? So, 'tis the season. We got 10 days? Is it 10 days until Christmas? Let me see now. Christmas countdown is 10 days, 16 hours, 15 minutes, and 5 seconds until Christmas. There you go. Ready or not, Here it comes. Am I ready? Absolutely not. I still have a Christmas tree that has nothing on it. Does it count? At least it's up. Can I just leave it up with nothing on it? Would that be like a total Scrooge move? Normally Marlon is in charge of the Christmas tree decorating, and we make it a thing where, you know, he goes in the attic and pulls everything down, and then Gianna participates, and the only thing that I have to do is make some good hot chocolate, honey child. Everybody's like, yeah, we want hot chocolate, and I'm like, all right. But we've been so demotivated, and being sick really has not helped. And we've also just been extremely busy this year with a new project. So lots and lots of things going on. Yeah. So listen, oops. I was trying to adjust the AC. Feels a little warm in here today, but it could just be me. Oh my goodness. So good morning to Mr. George. So yesterday we were talking about, I think we ended the show talking about how the solution from this current UPM government seems to be just to throw money at things and that will fix a situation. But, you know, I want to make it very, very clear that the overarching issue here is poor fiscal management. And I don't know, and I'm not saying that I'm any kind of financial whiz or anything. I leave that stuff up to the experts. But I don't know if it's a situation where the political leadership don't actually know, or the premier doesn't understand finance, or if she just doesn't care about the financial debt and position that she's putting this country in, and will just spend money and do whatever she wants, because we're going to be talking about a little bit more of what is coming out of her budget address and out of the budget debate. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Miss Sandy. Happy to hear you on my radio. But I'm not hearing you when my phone is off. You're not coming through clearly.
I'm not coming through clearly. Where? Sorry.
On the radio. I'm listening on the radio. I know that I called you on my radio phone. I can hear you clearly, but I'm not hearing you once I turn off my phone on the radio.
Oh. Okay.
Want to check that?
So yes. You're hearing something else on the radio, or it's just not clear?
Very faint. Very, very faint.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
So I'm going to ask Chuck to check on that for me. I'm not sure what's going on. Let me pump up all I try to keep because sometimes what I hear isn't quite what you guys are hearing. So let me just check it on my I can check it on the app, the website for Bobo. So I try to keep all the volume levels as high as possible. Only because, let me see what I'm hearing here. Yeah, only because what's going on with the radio? Yeah, only because like I said, sometimes things sound fine to me, but not quite to you guys. So I don't hear anything at all on Bobo this morning. Huh. That's weird. Good morning, caller.
Oh, it's me again. It's better now.
Oh, okay.
My level was up until 26. I was not hearing you, but it's okay now.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right. So thank you. I appreciate you guys always keeping an eye out. But I still can't hear it on the live stream, which is weird, on their website. Normally, that's how I check what's going on in the radio. I log on to the web and listen. Okay. Thank you, my lady. Morning to Mr. George Chalette. Glad to hear from you again. He says you're looking, and then he left off the rest of it. Oh, gosh. Oh, it comes later. You're looking younger. Oh, Mr. George. Thank you. First Lady Jayanne in the house. Celine says your voice is a bit low and there's a little static on the radio. Oh my. Not sure where the static is coming from. But yes, I've alerted Chuck to maybe just have a little bit of a listen. Shamika, good morning. Strong Wilt says happy Friday. What? It's not Friday. You trying to confuse me? You're looking so sexy these days. I'm gonna tell Marlon to keep his eyes on you. Well, child, he's always keeping his eyes on me. Wink, wink. Yes, honey, child. That is the romance department. They'll be trying to keep me busy when I'm like, listen, but you got to make time for it. You know, not everybody's the same romantically. But you know, he likes to keep his eyes on me. I'll just leave it at that, honey, chill. So, you know, you got to work with it. But thank you. I'll make sure he knows to keep his eyes on me even more. But I'm pretty sure he's doing a good job of that already. Shahara, good morning. How are you? Y'all probably laughing and chuckling to yourselves. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, let's keep it moving. Nothing is wrong with the radio. It's clear and loud, says Shahara. I don't know, honey child. All right, KK having a good laugh. So yes, let me just see. What else we got here? Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, so good morning, Miss Juanita. Says that you're doing a wonderful job. May God continue to bless you. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, strong world. It is Thursday. You had me confused for a minute there. I'm like, Lord, I was already saying to someone last night how quickly the week has been going. And so when you said Friday, I was like, oh, don't worry, KK. I just been so busy. I'm going to post it today. She's saying you didn't post a video with those kids. I'll post it today. But KK, sometimes we don't post it. It's actually in the article. So if you go and watch the article, you'll actually see it in the article. Because Instagram and Facebook can be a little panicky. Is that the word that I want to use this morning? About certain types of content. So we're always safe on the website because nobody's trying to control us there. So yeah. Okay. So all right. So anywho, the new layout in Linford Pearson, it is open since Monday. These idiots still driving. It's hard to figure out. Shaking my head. All right. So let me talk about it a little bit. No, there's a word called panicky. Panicky, I think is how we say it. And that's what I meant. Let me see how would you spell panicky? Hold on. Pernickety. Pernickety. Here we go. Yeah. It is an actual word. Pernickety. Let's say it a little bit more proper. Pernickety. There we go. It's Pernickety. Pernickety. Huh. And it means placing too much emphasis on trivial or minor details or just being fussy. She's very pernickety about her food. Yeah, so Facebook is very pernickety about certain types of content. Perfect. There you go. Put that, KK said, okay, my English teacher. Put that in your vernacular. Yeah, we're going to teach y'all some words here today. All right. I think I need to sit down today, actually. I'm feeling very, my energy is like, I could literally feel like, I think I'm gonna have to eat some food today. I could feel like my energy almost just dipped in real time. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to sit. I can't stand for 3 hours today. Miss Stacy, bring me some food. I need some energy. I think this is just related to me not feeling well. I should probably be legitimately in bed. But you know, here we are. Because I'm even feeling like the AC is on, but I'm literally sweating as well, which it's very unusual for me to sweat if I'm not doing something like working out. I'm not normally a sweater, unless I'm like in direct sun or I'm working out, playing pickleball or something, then I'm going to sweat. But I'm literally standing here and I'm sweating. So I think I'm going to grab my chair and have a seat, and then I'm going to eat some food. Let's take a little bit of a break. I know y'all like, geez, I'm Sandy. What's going on? Good morning, Damaris. El Rey says CMR fans are pernickety. Yes, they are. They can be. Okay, let me get a chair. I'll be right back. Get your water ready. Get your tea ready.
Sandra all the time is here with the cold hard truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And they start robbing, they calling Sandra. And if the rooster fly in the kitchen, they calling Sandra. And when they want to get the money, they calling Sandra. And even when they lose their honey, they calling Sandra. Every day, everyone wanna hear from Sandra. And all the time on the air, she's getting better. Some people say, honey child, that she's a savior. She's not afraid to say, and she will tell you. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama to call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. Tell your brother, tell your father, tell your mama to call Sandra in the morning, in the evening. They always calling Sandra. Politicians start fighting, calling Sandra. And when they start the bad parking, they calling Sandra. Landlord and tenant dispute, they calling Sandra. And all the problem with the youth, they calling Sandra. Honey child. Plenty money, calling Sandra. And they run away with your honey, they calling Sandra. Every accident around, they calling Sandra. And if your dog can't be found, they calling Sandra.
All right, folks. Good morning. Welcome back. All right, so I've decided to sit down this morning. Just feeling a little bit low energy. Somebody just called and said, maybe your sugar dropped. It's entirely possible. So I think I just need to maybe get some food or something. All right. And then I know that this cold, this flu, whatever the heck this is probably the flu. Trying to run its course, I guess. All right. We'll keep the show going for now. All right, honey child. Thank you, Yasmin, and thank you all so much, for your Continued support. So the station just said, you're too low. It's like when I'm sitting down, that little, just come in, Stacy, that little extra distance between me and the mic, which isn't really much, to be honest, seems to have some sort of an impact on the on what's happening on the radio. He's like, you're coming in too low. I'm like, geez, I'm peace. Do I need to yell into the radio, into the microphone? It's like I have to be right on it. I think also when you're standing, you project your voice a little bit different. Okay. Yes, honey, chill. We got some iced tea. I just had a little sip of this. I'm going to stop drinking this iced tea, actually. I was thinking about this the other day. This would be better for you but then it has some sugar alternative, which I'm convinced that they're not good for you either. But anyway, thank you, Miss Stacy. Honey, chill. She brought me some breakfast. We got a little bit of sausage and look at this, boy, Miss Stacy be cooking up. Sausage and some side veggies. Mess with her, honey, chill. All right. So, I received some information this morning. I'm going to decide whether or not we're going to talk about it. It's a little bit sensitive, but excuse my manners, by the way. Shamika says, I love that song. Good morning to Candy. Miss Yulene is here. So nice to see you. Good morning, Aliano. Miss Dean says, rock it up, my body. What a music sweet. What genre of song is that? Would that be considered soca? Or is that the guy who was working on the little video, putting it together for me? He's like, oh, I like your reggae song. I was like, Lord have mercy. They think everything that comes in the Caribbean is reggae. I'm like, sir, that is not reggae. Morning, Stephen, joining from the UK. Okay. Yes, let's talk about Alden's hair. Strong Wilt is like, Sandy, we need some stuff about Alden's hair. All right. It's no secret, is it? All right. Let's talk about it. So Alden has a particular affinity for his hair. And let me just say that we kind of make fun of it only because we know that he obviously spends a lot of time, it looks like, on making sure the hair is just perfect. And so I don't think it's a secret that he straightens his hair. Because, I mean, it's a little bit unusual for men to straighten their hair, I feel like. Mostly women who do that sort of thing. But, some men into looking good too, I guess. What do we call them? Metrosexual. They want to be looking sweet for the ladies. So anywho, he also seems to use a lot of product in his hair. So his hair is always in place, very stiff. Kind of like him. He's a little bit stiff too. You know what? I'm going to tell y'all a story about Alden. I wouldn't say Alden and I we're not friends, and we have never been friends. We've been friendly, friendlier than we are now for sure when we were all in progressives together. But he's always had a very unusual personality. What I mean by that is when you talk to him, like if you've never met him before, and you speak with him, he's really not like the warm, fuzzy Calypso. Thank you, Luis. Yes, that's a Calypsonian. Eileen says to Rasta Ja. I know everything's Rasta to them, child. But anyway, he's not like a really warm, fuzzy person. Like I've always kind of, how you look at some people and you kind of wonder to yourself, like, how are they with their kids and their wives and even the girlfriends and baby mamas and side chicks and whatever? Like, are they different with them than like the average person? I mean, do they get a little hug and a little squeeze, and do they get to feel good? Sometimes I look at people and I'm like, I'm not so sure that they're capable of being like, I don't know, some sort of emotional detachment is there. I don't know if it makes any sense, but once you've experienced it from a person, you know exactly what I mean. They're like, there's a stiffness about them. And sometimes the stiffness is even physical. This is why I'm talking about the stiffness of his hair. Kind of fits the personality, like the stiffness. And so he has to go out of hhis way. This is just my opinion. I'm not a trained, personality expert here. So I like the commercial says, I just slept at a Holiday Inn last night. So sorry. So yeah. So he has to work a little bit harder maybe than the average person to be able to say, hey, how you doing? Like have a little conversation, even if it's small talk. And I've always made these observations about him. So when we were in PPM and he kind of was getting started politically, remember he's a Lions member. So Lions, the men's, whatever they call themselves. So, a lot of Cayman's politicians have come out of the Lions organization. Alden, Ozzy, Kurt Tibbetts. There's been quite a few. So Lions, there's a female Lions. I think there's several different clubs. There's Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. There's the man version. I don't know what they call themselves, just Lions or whatever. And so it's like almost like a breeding ground, a training ground, I guess, for politicians or whatever. It's a community service group, and they do a lot of amazing stuff in the community for sure. And they seem to, they put on like their breakfast. They seem to do, Alfonso was a Lions member as well. There's quite a few of them that I can think of. I'm sure there's more that have gotten into politics, I think maybe because, they know a lot of people in Lions, I don't know. But anyway, he's always been a little bit stiff. So I remember when he got into politics, he was under he was under the arms of, good morning. Hi. Yes, ma'am, but I'm actually live on radio at the moment. Yeah, this is Sandra. You can go ahead. Yes, ma'am. His hair, uh-huh. Oh, you went to prep school? Yes, sir. Oh. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh gosh. Straight hair until about an inch and then it becomes curly. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. At the roots, yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that insight into his hair. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. Oh. Like the frizz. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Right. Right. Uh-huh. He blows it out. Yeah, the product. Right. All right, darling. I appreciate that. Yes. Okay. I appreciate the insight. Thank you so much. All right. So that caller was giving us a little 2-minute insight into Alden's hair. And she said that she actually, I'm aware you guys couldn't hear her. I don't think she wanted to be heard on the radio. I she said that she doesn't really think he relaxes it, but what he does is he probably does some kind of, I don't know if it's a deep conditioner, exactly what, but probably something to keep it less frizzy, because she said it's straight at the root, and then as it grows out, it gets curly and then frizzy and a little bit static electric or whatever. So he seems to spend a little bit of time on the hair. Like she said, maybe he's just blow drying it and putting some product in it. I don't know. Anyway, honey child, he makes sure that the hair look good. But she says she was in school with him from Jesus was a baby. The two of them went in class together, and they went all the way through high school, so they're classmates. I got you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So yeah, and I wonder, I should have asked her about his personality back then, if he was always a little bit stiff. I think is he the only boy in a family of several sisters? He has like 2 sisters. And he is the youngest. Sometimes these things matter, because Caymanian families and stuff treat you differently when you're a man anyway. We know this. Y'all baby your boys like, geez, some peace. They don't have to do nothing. And not only do you baby boys, but worse yet, if they're the only son in a family and then they're the youngest, because then, y'all be like, oh, he's my little king. Oh my God, geez, some peace. But anywho, yeah, so I remember that when Kurt Tibbetts took Alden under his wings politically, he used to, take him around and kind of like try to get him socialized, right? Which I always thought was a little bit weird, because I thought, shouldn't the personality already be intact for politics? Like, you can't be a politician and scared of people, or don't even really like people, or you don't know how to talk to people. But apparently you can be trained. And so Kurt Tibbetts spent a lot of time training Alden and talking to him and literally taking him door to door, because I've seen this myself, and sitting down with him and saying, Alden, you have got to sit down with these people and eat from their pot, right? Don't feel like you better than anybody. You gotta, you have this exterior, and I don't know that he thinks he is, but he does have that exterior, that standoffishness, right? And people assume that standoffishness means you think you're better than us. So you're scornful. You don't want, and listen, I'm a scornful person, so I'm not saying that, because I'm not eating out of Anna and everybody pot now, But I'm also a humble person. So to me, it don't make no difference whether you live in a mansion and you gonna serve me, $50 piece of steak, or if you got a little hut in Dog City. As long as you clean with your little hut and you know how to cook, you and me can sit down and have a meal out of your pot. But Alden was a little bit different. So I remember one instance, and I don't know why this stands out in my mind, down in Windsor Park, because remember now, we didn't have one man, one vote, so the constituency was big. And so Kurt was like, these people have some rabbit today, Cayman rabbit. You know what that is, the poor little gooties. And he was like, Alden, sit down. We gonna eat some rabbit and play some dominoes here today. And Alden was kind of like, okay. He just followed Kurt's instructions, boy. He was good at following instructions. And so, but you could see that it wasn't natural for him. And it appeared to take a little bit of work. It was a little bit weird. I got to tell you the truth. So the other observation that I've made with him, and I think this is when it comes to women, he's probably, although, he seems to be able to work a thing in more recent last 15 years, I guess, being in politics helps in that category too. You know what? I don't think he's ever had a problem with women per se. Because, I've heard the stories from way back when he's had the wife and a girlfriend. And yeah, he's never had a problem, I don't think. But I think he's weird with it. Like, you'd probably have to be attracted to weird, nerdy personalities. If you're looking for the Don Juan, maybe that's not him. But anyway, he, I think after he's had a few drinks, he loosens up a little bit. He's a different kind of person. So, when he's hanging out, he used to hang out country. So that was the spot. Now it's, I guess, still up Breakers with his friend, Mr. Tony. The liquor seems to allow him to free himself up in more ways than one. So the hair is kind of funny, but this is all relevant now. You're like, why the hell are we reminiscing about Alden's hair? It's relevant because now that he's Speaker of the House, people keep asking me, why is he not wearing the wig? You know, every other Speaker of the House has wore a robe and a wig, and he doesn't. Well, Alden seems like he's going to beat his own drum, and there's nothing wrong with that sometimes. So I was talking to another politician about this last night, and they were saying that he seems to want to modernize the speaker position, at least from the position of what he's wearing and what he looks like. So he's not wearing the robe. He's just wearing a suit and no wig. I mean, it is what it is. So Strong Wilt says Alden has a fake personality. Oh, Lord have mercy. Miss Elaine says emotional bankruptcy. That's a good, I love that phrase, actually. That's a good phrase. Strong Wilt says fake stiff personality. Yes, emotional bankruptcy kind of makes, it's a better descriptive term. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, honey child, this flu trying to take me down. How are you?
Okay. Well, I'm not too bad. I'm giving thanks just the same, even though I'm having an issue with my employer.
Oh, geez, I'm peace. What's going on?
Okay, I arrived on Cayman Island on the 8th of September this year.
Okay.
I was interviewed at my house in Jamaica for this job. The client that I was coming to take care of, she has 3 daughters, and all 3 of them interviewed me in Jamaica. And then they contacted the employer and told them that
this is a care worker position.
Yes,
all right.
It's a caregiving position. I went to school in America. I'm a trained caregiver. And I arrived on island the same day I arrived. I started working the same day.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even get to rest or anything.
Jeez, I'm beast.
And the same day, when I arrived at the airport, I came to Cayman Island like about 3 p.m. I called the office that he said he has. I called and I spoke with somebody. I said, I'm at the airport. I'm outside. They said they will come and get me. I was there at the airport for 2.5 hours.
Oh my God.
Before somebody came and called me and said, my boss sent me for you.
Wow.
It was a female. I went in the vehicle and then they dropped me. She dropped me at another location. I said the boss will come and meet her there to take me where I am going. That was a red flag. Anyhow, I went to the residence where I was supposed to work. The lady, she's living there with her daughter husband, and the mother. So I was addition to the family. So when I went in, I saw a helper, and a helper was there with my client. So she said, "Now that you're here, I am leaving because I finished work." So I said, "Okay, no problem." I asked her where the medications were for my client, and she showed me, and she left. I introduced myself to my client.
This would have been the first day that you arrived. Now this is the evening. You're getting straight to work.
Straight to work. Never rest. Not to mention the night before I had to leave where I'm in Jamaica, where I'm coming from. I have to reach the airport by a certain time. So I lost all that rest and everything. Okay. So the night came down. I was still up until about 11 p.m. the night, because by now I realized that the lady doesn't sleep in the night. She would sit around the TV and she watch politics. She watch everything. So anyhow, that was my first night. So I said, maybe, I overlooked it. But while I was there, I noticed that this thing was consistent. And I said, I was losing my rest now.
This is your client. This is the elderly person you're taking care of that doesn't sleep.
Yes, 93 years. And I remember one day I said to her, "You need to get your rest. You can't be up at 7, because I get up like 7 in the mornings to prepare her breakfast so she can take her medication.
Mhm.
And from 7 a.m. until 11 p.m., I'm still up with her.
Wow. And I mean, is she sleeping on and off all day? Like, what is she doing during the day?
During the day, she would do crossword puzzle. She'll watch a TV. Yeah, she would doze off maybe just for maybe half hour, and then
So,
she'll get her back. And then
wow. So
I have
she's
to be
barely
sitting
getting any
beside
sleep.
her. Barely, right. So she
Mm.
said her body is like that from ever since. She said, I wish I could sleep. You know,
Mhm,
that
mhm.
woman, I found out that she's very sick. And I even said it to the daughter, I said, your mom needs to sleep.
Mhm.
And she, it's like she just ignored it and said, my mom don't go to bed early. So one day I went to the employer's office and I said it to him. I said, sir, I am working from this time to that time. The
Mhm.
contract that I made with you is 40 hours for the week. I am
Mhm.
doing over 100 and something.
Mm-mm.
You know what the man told me? The man told me, well, you live at the client house. You don't have any special time to work.
Mhm.
I was shocked. I was speechless. But then I said, when you need something, you just have to sacrifice and do what you have to do. Anyhow, one day I called the office again and I
Mhm.
needed a letter to take to the bank
So
to
let,
have
let
my
me
bank
let me
account.
let me understand. When you say you call the office, what office is this? Are you going through an
The
agency?
agency, the
Okay.
agency
All
that
right.
I came up to,
I
right?
see.
So I called.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the
I
agency
signed the
hired you
contract,
to work with a specific family.
right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
Mhm.
while I was there, I realized that I don't have a bank account. So, but I had one with a bank previous before because I used to work here before.
Mhm.
So I said to the agency, the man that hired me, I said, could you fill out a form for me to take to the bank? I went to the bank and got the forms. I took it to him. I said, could you sign this for me to say that I'm working here with you?
Mhm.
He signed it, but when I took it back to the bank said he doesn't have an account there, so therefore they cannot open the account for me. I went back to the office and I said, sir, I realize that you don't have me on any insurance. In my contract, you said you pay 50%, and I
Mhm.
agreed. And that was
Mhm.
September the 8th, right?
Mhm.
September finished. The man didn't say anything to me. So I said, no, man, I'm going down by Britcay. So I went by Britcay, got the L form, and I took it to him. I called him. I said, sir, I'm in town. Can you meet me? I needed to sign the insurance form. He said, he'll be there in a few. Took me nearly an hour again. So when he arrived, he signed it. I said to him, sir, can I have your 50% so I can pay for this on Monday? The man looked at me and said, how am I supposed to give you money and it's not approved yet? And the man drive off. All right. I went and I told my client's daughter, and I said, this is not right because suppose anything should happen to me.
Yes.
Look like I knew something was about to happen because one day my client said to me, go outside and look in the storeroom for a suitcase because you and I will be going to Grand Cayman Brac. So I went
Oh.
outside to look for the suitcase. When I look in the storeroom, I didn't see the suitcase. So on my way out, I didn't see the steel in the ground. And my foot, it caught my left foot. And I just saw the blood start to shoot. And I went inside and I told my client, I said, look what happened. Look at my foot. And she said, oh my God, what happened? I said, the steel that is in the ground. I didn't see it. And she said, okay. When the daughter arrived, she said it to the daughter. She said, Paula, I didn't want to call my name, but anyhow, she said, the caregiver got injured today. And the daughter didn't even come and say, let she look at the foot. You know? And I said, no, this is not right. So the following day I went and I got some antibiotic cream and some pain medication because it was paining me. Anyhow, I had to work with the foot just the same. In the house, every morning I have to get up and look after my client just the same. And this continued. So on the 30th of October, my client said to me, we're going to Cayman Brac the following day. So she said, I should help her pack her stuff and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was up in the night until about 12 p.m. And we left the morning and we went to Kilmanbrack on the 30th. We were supposed to be 10 days in the Brack. Went over to the Brack. She has a house there. And
so
I
the
was taking care of her.
elderly lady, she's able to travel on a plane.
Yeah, she's independent. She can walk, she's independent.
Oh wow.
I went there, and while I was working, on the 8th of November, I felt sick. But I continued working, and then the feeling was coming on and off. So I said to her, I'm not feeling well. I need to go to the hospital. She said, okay, let me call somebody. And she tried to call somebody, but she didn't get through. So she gave me the number and said, you call. When I called, I got somebody, and the person said, okay, I'm coming to pick you up. Person took me to the hospital in Cayman-Brack named Faith Hospital.
Okay.
When I was coming out the vehicle, I couldn't come out because I was so weak. I was in pain.
Oh wow.
So I called the security. I said, I need a wheelchair. The security got the wheelchair, took me in, and they took me straight to emergency. And when I went to emergency, they started to take blood from me. They started to take urine tests from me. They were testing my pressure. And then they sent me to do an ultrasound. I was from one room to the other. And then when they finally came, observe, doctors were around me and nurse, and because I was so sick now. And then they said, oh, we'll have to admit you. My client was right there with me, and she heard when the doctor said that. And she said, oh my, I don't want, I'm sorry to know that you will be admitted. But she had a friend with her, and I said to the friend, could you stay with her for me? Because I'll be staying over in the hospital. And the friend said, no problem.
Okay.
I slept in the hospital that night. 9 bottles of drip I got in my right hand. And I was there in the hospital, and the nurses, they were very attentive to me. I told you they treated me very well. I'm not lying. They treated me very well. And then the morning I was still in bed, I received a call from my client. She said, you need to tell the doctor you need to ask the doctor for an early discharge, because my daughter already changed the ticket for today. You can imagine?
So hold on now. Who said this to you?
The client. My client called me in the hospital and told me that her daughter changed the ticket for the next day while I was still in hospital. That so I have to come back to Grand Cayman now because the ticket changed. So when the doctors came, I told them what was happening, and
they changed the ticket to come back early.
Right.
Knowing that you were in the hospital?
While I was in the hospital.
Lord have mercy.
She didn't even call me to find out what was happening to me, or nothing at all. The daughter didn't contacted me. She just wanted her mother to come back to Grand Cayman.
Okay.
So I told the doctor the morning, I said, please, I'm asking you, could you give me a discharge me so I can take back my client, because her daughter insists that she come back. So the doctor said, well, we're going to give it to you, but make sure when you go back to Grand Cayman, you follow up with another doctor because you're sick.
Did they ever tell you at that point what they thought was going on?
Yes, they said, you need rest, and your potassium level is very low, and they said you're stressed, you need your rest. And because I was telling the doctor now that I lost a lot, most of my rest, I can't sleep because my client cannot sleep. So I have to be up with her. And she said, yeah, this is what is causing the problem. So I went, she gave me the discharge, and I went, I had to go back home now to pack my stuff because by this time now my client already packed her stuff. So I just went and packed my stuff, and we headed for the airport. I came back Grand Cayman, and I drove from Georgetown to where I was staying. And when I arrived, I was taking out, I had 2 suitcases and a pulley bag, a big pulley bag, and a box. So I took out my suitcase.
Now, were you a live-in at this Okay.
Yes, it was a living job. So I took out the 2 suitcases. I was pulling one, and my client was walking before me. And by the time before I reached to the gate, her phone rang. And when her phone rang, I heard when the daughter said to her, where are you now? And the daughter said, I'm right at the gate. And then I saw the daughter open the door, and she came outside. She greeted her mother, and she said, hi, I miss so-and-so. How are you? I said, I'm not feeling well, but I'm here. And she kissed her mom, and, then by the time I went inside to put on my suitcase, I noticed that the room was occupied with another suitcase. So I said, what is going on? By this time, I just saw when the employer appeared from out the living room and said to me, I need to speak to you outside. And then I saw this lady
So the
sitting
employer,
in the
meaning from the agency.
right.
Okay.
He was there.
Oh.
He was there.
Okay.
So I went outside and I saw him with a white envelope in his hand. And he just said to me, I'm terminating your service today. I don't need your service anymore. I was speechless. It's like a bomb drop on my head. I said, what is this, Lord? I said, I am a sick person. I'm not even feeling well. And you're going to add more stress to me. And the man just jumped in his car and left. And I said to myself, but he didn't pay me. So I said, what is this? Anyhow, I was supposed to get paid the 15th. So when I arrived, it was the 9th. So I said, maybe he's going to arrange my pay for the 15th. Up until now, I don't get $1.
Wow.
He don't call me. He did not call me.
This was last month. This was November. Okay.
November. So I went to the labor board and I reported the matter. And they said they would deal with it because it's a breach of contract. He did not give me 2 weeks notice as what he said in the contract. If I am leaving, I'm supposed to give him 2 weeks notice. And if he's gonna fire me, he did not do that. I went all over the 40 hours. I wasn't on any insurance.
What did your contract say about working overtime? Did it say anything about overtime pay?
No, that wasn't mentioned in there, but but because it said 40 hours. So I said, if I get up at 7 in the morning, I'm supposed to stop work at 3. That's 8 hours for the day because I had to work 6 days. The only time I get off is a Saturday. And I arrived here the Friday. Saturday would have been my day off, but I had to work on that day as well. Okay. So he gave me the letter, and when he left, I called a friend of mine and told him to come and pick me up because I had this. He said with immediate effect, you have to leave. By now, he got a new caregiver. I had the woman in the house. So the daughter for my client and him and a new caregiver was there. So from that time till now, I haven't seen the man. He did not call me. I did not get my pay up until now. Every day I've been going by the labor board, and this lady who has my case is like she's just dragging it, and she's gonna tell me I can leave the Highland. I mustn't buy any time. I must leave the Highland, and they will deal with it. I said, Miss, I'm not leaving my money. I work for that. I didn't come here. I didn't bargain for this.
All right. Do you have are you able to send me his number on WhatsApp? In the meantime, we've got another caller. I'm not sure if they're weighing in on this issue, but good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hi.
Sandy, I'm not sure if I'm on the air, but
yes, you are.
I got a bit of the discussion this morning, and I can tell you how angry might sound a little bit strong. But this is me every ridiculous. Time I hear these sort of complaints, and I just want to say something to the caller. I'm glad you're sharing your experience, publicly this morning, because I'm hoping that there are a lot of persons who are working as a domestic, especially live-in, that are listening to you this morning. And there's a couple of things I just want to point out, because
Just 1 second for me. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear you. One person said they can't hear you, but I'm not sure if they're listening on radio or this person said on radio. So give me 1 second. Let me just ensure that everyone can actually hear you. Nope, somebody else said radio is good. So, that's strange. Okay. Maybe just speak up just a little bit.
Can you hear me any better?
Yeah, I mean, one person saying that that you're okay, and some other people are saying you're coming in a little bit low. So just try to maybe speak up as much as you can.
Yeah, one
Okay.
of the red flags, and there are many, but with the caller, I just want to say that there are many red flags. Of course, one, as you've indicated, is that the hours that are way outside of your contract without any discussion. Other red flags, of course, you had no health insurance, as it turns out.
Yes, and that's against the law.
It's illegal.
Exactly.
Right. I'm hoping there are others listening that are experiencing such, disadvantaged, because when there are red flags like this, you can't wait until what the end result is, which is often the case, because once you start to complain or you have any situation that has occurred, as in this case, your health, you become disposable. And I'm hoping that, as she says, she has now complained to the Department of Labor, but most often people can't afford to remain here until that has resolved. And they leave the island, or they're forced to leave. And I can't tell you how disheartening it is. Really, I get very incensed, when I hear these sort of complaints, and there are many. And I'm hoping that if there are domestic workers out there that this is happening to, don't wait. Once you see their red flags, please try to get the matter addressed as quickly as possible. You can come to the Jamaican consulate, or you certainly go to immigration.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
don't wait until the problem.
Yes.
There's a saying in Jamaica, what got there.
And the other thing, if I may also say, I think that the employers also are very, very much aware that you're not likely to get the time to be able to stay on island until the matter is resolved. And I just heard you, caller, say that they said to you, "Oh, just go back home." That's what they want you to do, because they know that it's much more difficult for you to fight the situation once you've left the jurisdiction.
Exactly. And the other thing, of course, is that they know that persons are desperate in some cases, and they don't want to jeopardize their work permit. But at the end of the day, persons have to recognize that they're not enslaved, or they shouldn't voluntarily enslave themselves.
Wow.
But thank you.
Yes, well, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. But yes, absolutely.
Okay, I would like to say, even the termination letter, when I read it, he said, I will not cancel your permit because my permit is supposed to expire this month. He said, I will not cancel your permit because this is a short notice. I will give you time to look another job. But yet he went behind my back 2 days after and canceled my permit. Because he did it because, as I said, I'm on time now.
Yes.
Right? I paid $50 for the first time. I paid $100. So how long can I do this? Because the last immigration person I spoke with, the lady, when I told her what I was going through, she said, you know what? You need to try and see if you can get another job because this is not right. That is what the lady told me. So they are aware of what is happening. But some person, I am not the first caregiver to go to that home. From when upon investigation, I heard I am not the first. And I mean, my client was upset with the daughter because she said to her, why did you go through an agency when you yourself always put in the permit? Why did you do it? Because this is causing problem. Because if all right, say for instance, the lady, I used to take her to the bank to get my salary. When she comes home, she have to give it to the daughter. The daughter have to call the agency. The agency come, and the agency would go through the door without paying me. And one day I text him and I said, "Is this how you treat your employees? Don't push it. Don't push it. You don't speak English or what?" This is all the man insulting me. You don't speak English or what?
You have his number that you can send me on WhatsApp. I don't want you to necessarily say it out loud, but
I'm gonna send it to you.
I want you to stay on the line. So send it to me on the WhatsApp, and then we can give him a call. And send me the name of his company as well. Where's your employer from?
He's from right here.
He's Cayman, and good. Very good. All right. Send the information. So I'm going to read some comments while you're doing that. This person says, who paid the hospital bill? This is what they do with temporary work permits, especially domestic/caregivers. Lord have mercy. Oh, yeah. Let
Very
me see.
cold because he knew he was in problem. That's why he terminated my service, because he knew I wasn't on health insurance. Right? You hired me to come here, and you didn't have all these things in place. He used me, he abused me, and now he refused me. Right? Even my client, the following day, she called me on my phone and she said, "How you left the job and you didn't tell me?" I said, "I did not leave the job." I said, "Talk to your daughter. She will discuss it with you." She said, "Oh yes, I'm gonna get into the matter because my client and I."
So the little old lady called you?
Yes, all the time. She called me asking me, "Oh, have you eaten? How are you doing? I am so concerned about this lady. Is somebody. I have no problem with her." Right? And she was shocked when I told her what the daughter did. That they conspired against me. And I can't get my money. Each time I call labor board, the lady, the inspector who is in charge of my case, every time I call, she's out of office. She's out of office. Every time, most of the time, she's out of office. And yet the government is paying them to do a job, and they are not doing it to the best of their ability. So these things are not right. And because I'm not from here, I'm a expatriate. You're gonna treat me like this. And she tell me the last time I went there, it's best if you don't buy any more time and go home. I said, what did you say? I said, what did you really say to me just now? Send me
the information on WhatsApp. Aliano says the lackluster labor laws are only designed to protect the employer and not the employee. There should be at least 1 day worth of orientation to the client. That care is given to a walkthrough of the location and breakdown of the task. I mean, it's crazy that she would come from the airport and be expected to get back to work. So I don't know.
I didn't come here with a scar on my foot. I have to shave all my legs because I have hairy legs. I know this ugly looking scar is on my foot. Even that, I get up some mornings and I just kept crying. I say, "Lord, if you take me here, you're gonna take me out of this, because this is too much for one person." Right? I came here willingly to work, and this man used me.
Can I ask you? Can I ask how you? Yes. Can I ask how you found out about him, or how he found out about you? How did you guys make contact with each other?
A friend of mine saw the ads on EK Trade, and she sent it to me in Jamaica. And I applied for it. And the thing that they wanted was that they needed somebody from Jamaica who has a visa. And I told him I have a visa.
Okay. All right. We have another call. We have another caller. It's a straight line caller, and I know you're calling on WhatsApp, so it's going to disconnect you. But in the meantime, send me the information I'm asking for, and let me just grab this call. All right, caller. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. I just want to mention here, and if the lady is still on the phone, my understanding from my experience is that when an individual is in Cayman on a temporary 3-month work permit, that the pension and the insurance requirements from the standpoint of the employer are not applicable.
Not insurance. Insurance, because you can imagine you can come here the first day and drop down dead.
And something can happen.
Yes, so insurance is applicable. Pension might not be, but no, you can't skirt around insurance. That's a very, very serious situation, in fact.
I might be wrong here, but when I had a young man come to work with me on a 3-month work temporary on my farm, there was no mention made of insurance. I was told that is only after the 3-month period, Sandra.
Who told you that?
I went through a temp, what do you call them?
Like an agency?
SID. Yes.
Oh.
The young man was here for 3 months working with me, and I heard no mention made of insurance and or the pension. That I was told that would be after the 6th, like if I took out another work permit. Are you sure that the insurance is required, Sandra? Or is that just what you think?
I feel like I'm 95% sure. But give me
some clarification on that would be good.
Yeah, give me a second. I mean, we can look this up very, very quickly. Because that wouldn't even make any sense, that like you'd be jeopardizing people's lives. So let me just
I agree with you, but I do remember that I heard no mention of that.
Yeah, it's in the let me just
I agree with you.
Here. Yes, good morning. We have another caller. Morning caller.
Sandra, just for enlightenment, the insurance is very much the responsibility of the employer. If the insurance has not yet been approved, even on the temporary work permit, the contract that is signed, which is your temporary work permit contract, at the bottom, it states that the employer agrees. The employer agrees to take full responsibility, and that is if the insurance has not yet been approved. So there is, the onus is on the employer once an employee is here on the island.
Mom?
Yeah. And even as a matter of fact, even the temporary, and I think this is what the caller is saying, even your temporary work permit, and it's interesting that people don't seem to know this, even your temporary work permit application has the requirement for you to provide insurance details. So it is definitely required. And I'm just having a look here at the health insurance laws of the Cayman Islands. And so we can see that there is a legal requirement for it to be in place. As one of the
American ask the lady a question.
Yeah, sure.
Mom, is that the same? Does that fall under what is referred to as sponsorship?
Yeah, repeat the question again for me.
Because I'm asking the lady who seems knowledgeable about this. Is that what falls under the terminology sponsorship?
Sponsorship. Where does that terminology show up?
Because in the past, previously, I also had another young man from Nicaragua who came and asked me for work. It wasn't working out with him and his previous boss. I went and paid for 3 or 4 extensions before he got his job, work permit approved. And every time I went in there and paid the extension for him, the folks at immigration were saying that I needed to be able to prove that I could sponsor him.
No.
That comes under the same heading when you actually do get the work permit.
No, that's different. So it's weird. I don't know why they would have been asking you that, but if you have someone coming in and you're getting a visitor's visa, right? That is akin to sponsorship, because you're essentially saying, that's why sometimes they will ask you for like a job letter or bank statements or whatever to ensure that you have the required funds to sponsor or make sure that that person who's coming to stay with you can stay here and not become a burden to anyone. But if they're here and you are taking out a work permit for them, they didn't come in under a visitor visa. So I'm not sure how the sponsorship question would have come into play. But it is required. I can confirm now that it is required for someone to have insurance in place immediately. You know, somebody said, but I can still choose to take it out. It's not optional. So, I mean, employers, if you don't know this, and this is, you were going through an agency, the agency was misinforming you, which means that you're the one who could have actually gotten in trouble for this. But the law says that you have to, not possibly, I'm telling you, you would have. The law says that you have to take it out.
I know. I mean, if the person had gotten injured or something. That's what I'm saying.
And you have to, you have to take
from my perspective, it might have been part of the fees that I paid for their service that I was not aware of. That would be the only reason I could see how it wouldn't have been that I might have been confused as to that. But I don't know. I was under the assumption that unless, if it's a temporary 3 months, those things do not apply.
Nope.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, who would, who would be responsible for that person?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's a problem.
No, I understand what you mean. I get the point.
Yeah.
I never really considered it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
This latest situation, I'm sorry, Mom, that you're going through this. I guess, Sandra, the only thing to do would be to expose the players involved and expose the inadequacies involved and hope that it will do something positive in the future. I would like to share a story with y'all and the rest that came on right quick. Years and years and years ago, I made friends with two Filipino folks, a husband and wife. The wife was a caregiver. The husband was a chef. And we became friends over time. They approached me. And they were telling me about being exploited and financially pushed upon by elements here in Cayman and elements back in the Philippines who basically charged them almost an indentured servitude type of thing to get over to Cayman to get work. But they had already paid their bill and they had already paid whatever fees they were supposed to pay, and the people were still extorting them. I went and asked my father, who then pointed me to Mr. Barlow. And I got advice from him, and he basically told me that this is the way it's going on in Cayman with the criminality, not only in Cayman, but also the criminality in the Philippines.
It's sad.
And that these folks have this choice. They can either expose the situation as it exists, but they will pay the price themselves, but they will have the opportunity to make it better for those who come after them. I went back to my friends and I told them what I know. I said, I'm sorry, there's nothing else I can do in the situation to help your situation. And that was actually the last time I ever spoke to them. They never once got in touch with me again. And as far as I know, they just went back home.
Yeah.
So this is definitely an issue that the lady has elucidated for us here in Cayman, and it needs to be given attention.
You know what, as well, caller? I mean, I have brought it up in the context of the Filipino community before. I don't know if you remember, I was talking about a case there from East End with that Caymanian guy. We tried calling him and his wife, and he was cussing going on, but she actually works for the Cayman's government in education. And I'm not asking anybody whether or not she is breaking the law. I am telling them she has made it into a business. Now, I don't know who she's working with in the Philippines and, kind of how they're putting it together. But I can tell you, she is seeking out victims and bringing them here, right?
Yeah.
Charging them thousands of dollars. She has one right now. Thousands of dollars to take out a work permit, and they have no work. She doesn't have any work for them. They come to Cayman and they're stranded. We have one that just landed in November, and she's here with no work. Do you know what havoc this causes on our community?
Huge.
I mean,
huge havoc. And this goes back to the conversation of the man not being paid. I remember I asked you a couple of days ago, how is it that this Jamaican man that you had a picture up there, the two of them, Mr. Miller or the other one, how is it that they are in some kind of position to be some kind of go-between when it comes to folks getting work permits? So there's obviously a system of extortion and criminality on both sides of the fence, whether we're talking about Cayman and Jamaica or Cayman and Philippines.
Yes.
And it's something which needs to be addressed.
Yep.
So
and the
we're beginning to look at an exposure.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about The unfortunate thing about the Filipino community, what I have found is that they are least likely to reach out for help. Some of it's cultural, in their culture.
Insular.
Yes.
The insular, they take good care of each other, but they also know what they're dealing with at home.
Because even the ones that
at home, if they stand up against the system.
Yes, even the ones that have come on the program. I don't know if you remember that might have been last year. We're talking about this one lady who was had this child, and she was taking the child from pillar to post and giving it to all these people, using the child within the Filipino community to gain sympathy. And then she was borrowing money from her Filipino friends, stealing from them, all sorts of stuff, right? When the woman came on to expose her, it was the victim who was told by Filipino members in the community and even some of the Filipino groups, oh, you don't talk about our problems publicly. Don't go to Sandy with our problems, because we don't want the Caymanian people or people in the Cayman Islands to think that we are having these issues, that we have criminals here, but they do. They do, just like every other community, just like the Jamaicans, just like the Hondurans. No matter where you're from, you have no good people here who are criminals. But they do not want, they are secretive in a way that is detrimental to them. So they would rather you as a victim to hide, that you're even, I'm just going to have a caller join and have them add in a second, but they are so secretive because they don't want this kind of like bad reputation that, caller, I need you to,
I'm here.
Yeah, I need you to turn down whatever radio you have going on in the background.
It's not me, Sandra. It's somebody else.
I've just added a person, but I need them to turn it down. Caller.
Yeah.
The second call I just added. I need
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hold on. We're not ready for you yet, but we were getting a lot of feedback from your call. So just turn down your background radio for me.
I would just like to say this, Sandra.
Yeah.
The insularization that has occurred, and I know full well that within the Filipino community, it is a strength in that they always take care of each other in one way or another. And I mean, that is one of their strengths. It's something to be appreciated. However, when it comes to this negative aspect of that, to me as a Caymanian, it points to the insularization of Cayman's very, very, very fractured community at this point, which shows to what has happened to Cayman collectively. It shows where our community has been degraded over the last 20, 30 plus years because of these injustices, which are now a commonality across the board.
Hello, second caller.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
It's Dexter Bodden.
Hi, Mr. Dexter.
Yes, good morning to Sandy.
Good morning.
I just wanted to clarify something. Where is this Filipino community? Where's the Filipino community?
Where are they?
Yeah, the community, not they, the community. Where is the community? Did they bring a community here?
Well, I mean,
they've already taken over the Cayman Islands community.
Well, no, they have community groups, so that's what I'm.
No. What I can't understand is how these people come here and they have a community. I thought this was the Cayman Islands community.
What Cayman Dexter?
Hold on, Mr. Dexter.
People within this community.
Mr. Dexter,
I can't stand the thought of the Filipinos coming here and taking over the community.
Let me say this to you. I need to pause you for a second here. The term community is being used in the broadest sense possible. So if I say the Jamaican community, are you insulted as well? Or are you only insulted because they're Filipinos? I need you to answer that question.
Yes, ma'am, I would be. Very much so.
So you'd be insulted if I said the Jamaican community?
I'm insulted about any foreign national coming here and.
But Mr. Dexter, how many times have I not made reference to other?
Would insult me just as well.
Yes, but then I need to ask you why.
Any other foreign national group that is being referred to as community in Cayman. They must be coming taking over the community.
Mr. Dexter, that's a term that I would have used on numerous occasions.
That's what I've noticed, and that's why I'm calling you on it.
I don't understand why you're calling me today. I've been here for well over a year, and I probably used it 100 times.
Because I constantly hear you making those references.
Well, the only time you seem to have got upset about it is today when it was in relation to the Filipino community. I've talked about the Jamaican community. I've talked about the Canadians.
They are here as a part of the Cayman Islands community. Why you try to separate people like that? Why are we trying to do the same thing they do in America?
Mr. Dexter,
Why? When they're trying to unite people,
hold on.
You're going to be referring to them as having their own community?
No.
Yes, you are.
Mr. Dexter.
You're separating them from me. Every district, every neighborhood that I can go in the Cayman Islands, there's Filipinos living in it. Every one of them. Every neighborhood.
What does that have to do with me using the term community?
It has to do with the sound as if these people came here and took over the whole island.
Oh, Lord.
It's their community, it's not the Cayman community anymore.
Like I said, are you saying
people?
I'm separating people?
You are when you term it as being the Filipino community, the Jamaican community, the Honduran community, the Chinese community.
Mr. Dexter,
you are separating them from me.
Mr. Dexter, I'm gonna do you a favor this morning and say thank you for your comment and hope that you have a good day.
You too.
All right.
You need to stop promoting separation of people.
My God. I'm pretty sure that I encourage unity of people. Like, what on earth is Dexter talking about? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look, we have a fractured community in the Cayman Islands, right? We have a fractured society. We have a fractured community in the Cayman Islands, and that is where his frustration is coming from. I'm not going to speak for Dexter, but I'm going to identify the reality.
But that don't have nothing to do. That doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not the one who's creating this fractured community. I'm trying to bring people together. That's why everybody feels on this program that they actually have a voice.
That we have there.
I mean, my God. Good morning. We have another caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Lord have mercy. This is the other Dexter.
And that really pissed me off.
Wow.
When my own Caymanians will criticize another. If they want to form a community, what is wrong with that?
But he doesn't seem to even understand the word community.
They don't live in a communist country.
But my God, he's not even understanding the word community. Community is just talking about a group of people collectively. So what I'm trying to say, the previous caller, which I think is Jonathan, correct me if it's not
Jonathan,
you. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, as a group, right? The Filipinos have some very, very sort of unique and distinct things, just like the Jamaicans do. And they're all being taken advantage of. Now, I'll tell you what I have found: the Jamaicans tend to be more likely to speak up, although some of them remain silent too. But because it's a different culture.
We have seen the Filipino community expanding Cayman is because you had a whole lot of people here in Cayman, a lot of them not even Caymanians, who saw the opportunity to bring in Filipino folks because they noticed that those folks would be less likely to speak up. And that is the definitive reason why we have so many people here in Cayman who have migrated from the Philippines to the Cayman Islands to make their living. That is the reason why.
I'm going to be honest with you. Say whatever you want about Filipinos. Like I said this morning, they have criminals. They have no good people in their community too. But by and large, when they come here, remember what their government does? Their government prepares them before they even come to the Cayman Islands. I wish every government would do that. To say, when you go to the Cayman Islands, these are their customs, their laws, their this, their that. This is how you go. This is how you act accordingly. So I think some of us are just prejudiced against people, and we need to admit that that's what this is all about. It not got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me using the word community. Mr. Dexter Barden, I want you to look in the mirror this morning and really ask yourselves why you got your panties all in a bunch. Let's use the word of the day. Why are you being so panicky about this? Maybe there's some cold, hard questions that you need to ask yourself. And it ain't, don't put it on me now. Let me be very, very clear. I don't want y'all to put your hot mess of feelings on me because they ain't got nothing to do with me.
Sandra.
Now the phones are blowing up. Hold on 1 second. We got about 4 people on the line.
Okay. Sandra and Dexter, please listen to me and everybody else. Listen. When you have a place and you allow injustice simply because of the lower economic status of others to allow for the abuse of those people. As much as people might not want to recognize this proven fact, injustice begets injustice begets injustice.
Exactly.
And if we have
it's gonna be the same thing for us. Exactly.
It creates the abuse
everybody
and the loss of quality of life for all.
Yeah.
And that is what Cayman is experiencing today.
That
is what the lady from Jamaica is talking about.
Remember what it says? First they came for the communists, but I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I'm not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Folks, an injustice for one is an injustice for all. So we can't sit here and divide ourselves based on all of these foolish things. We have to be very, very honest here. If Filipinos are being taken advantage of, Jamaicans are being taken advantage of, Caymanians are also being taken advantage of. It don't have anything to do with, we're only talking about the Filipino community. All of these different communities are complaining to me on a daily basis. So if you get offended by the term Filipino community, I think you need to take a good hard look in the mirror. Let's take some of the other callers that have joined in. Let me see now. We got, who came in last? Denny, I think that might be you.
I was last, yeah.
Last shall be first.
What does that mean? Yeah, I was just going to say that.
What are your thoughts on this hot mess this morning?
My thought is that Mr. Dexter doesn't understand the meaning of the word community.
Yes, I reckon so.
But everybody who is in Cayman and who are not Caymanian are not of the Caymanian community, right? But they are a community.
Yeah.
They're distinct from the Caymanian community.
My God.
But that doesn't mean that they're problematic. The thing that I would put my finger on here is that when we think about injustices taking place, and Jonathan is correct about how an injustice for one is an injustice for all, and you as well. It doesn't have to be a major injustice. It could be a series of minor injustices that add up to a major injustice. And so, if we're looking for this one grand thing to fix, and this is just going to make life, that's not how it works. Offenses are done in small increments. Because remember, the people who are perpetrating the offense doesn't want to be caught. And you know who the person perpetrating these offenses are in many instances? Caymanians. They're the ones that are hiring them, bringing them here, and then not paying them and not doing this and not doing that. Okay?
Yep.
And we need to take a serious look in the mirror. But there is something I want to say to the Filipino community today. Being afraid of standing up for your rights isn't going to help anybody. In fact, the country that you're coming to, seeking whether it's whatever type of refuge it is, let's just, for the purposes of this conversation, let's call it economic. The country that you're running to will be destroyed if you fail to stand up to injustice.
Exactly.
Okay, it's going to jeopardize us all. It will bring all of our rights down.
Yeah.
And so what that puts us in the position to do is to do something about it, which, you know, if you're not willing to stand up for your rights, it requires us to take legislative action that might be inconvenience us all, which I don't think we should have to go down that road. I mean, it used to be that people had the integrity that when something was wrong, they just stood up and, you know, made a difference because we understood that that's how civil society has to function.
Yes.
But we seem to live in a time when I don't know if it's the penalties of standing up are greater or whether we have less courage. But regardless of which one it is, it's not going to end well if we don't stand up against injustice.
This reminds me of something that Charles Whitaker was saying to me about how he wasn't talking about the Filipino community. He was talking about the Caymanians, the Cayman community being a community of cowards. And he said, not even God can use cowards.
Right. You see, yeah, exactly. You know what happened actually to someone who was afraid that God wanted to use? His name was Jonah. He got swallowed up by a whale because he wouldn't do what he was supposed to do. The point I'm making to you is that there's no substitute for us having courage against criminals. Criminals are everywhere, not just the Philippines. They're Caymanians as well.
Yep.
And we need to have the courage to stand up against it, or it will destroy every single thing that our forefathers have worked for, soul, and sacrifice.
Yeah. And that's why I don't know whether to be more insulted when it's our own people that break the law or whether it's foreign nationals. I mean, I guess maybe it's an equal amount of insult, but in a way it's worse when it's us, because we theoretically are destroying our own country. Somebody else destroying your own country, your country. You could say, well, of course they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They have somewhere to run to, or, you know, they're running from somewhere that probably worse than here. So they just don't care. When it's our own people who don't even have enough respect and decency to see what we have and that is slipping away so incredibly quickly, and they sit back and don't want to do, and not only do they not want to do anything to save it, but in fact, they're doing the opposite. They're taking positive action to destroy it. That grinds me in a different kind of way.
Yeah. And we need to deal with that. And I would say to the people who come on your show and talk about what has happened to them with employers and businesses or whatever the situation is, I say thank you for standing up against wrong, because only in doing so can we preserve and enhance the community that we have currently.
Thank you very much. And I want to really sort of, you know, pick up on that point, because it is important, folks, to encourage people to speak out. So you see, this is a totally different conversation than we were intending to have. Normally Friday is our consumer day, but I will take a consumer complaint any day of the week. It doesn't really matter to me, because we have to encourage people for more reasons than one to speak up when they see wrongdoing. If we encourage this silence, regardless of what community it's in, it will only seek to destroy this country quicker and faster, and then we will have really and truly nothing left. Caller?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Minister from Mall Road.
I'm sorry I had you on hold all this time. Oh, what a mess.
No, I just wanted to respond, not react, but respond to the first Mr. Dexter. That's Dexter Borden, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder how he would feel. I mean, I don't know if he has any children or anything, but I wonder how he would feel if, you know, he had any children that went away to school, let's say in Canada, the UK, and there's the Caymanian student community there. I mean, it seems like he doesn't understand what the word community is, right? I mean, when you're in a foreign country and you see people of your own, naturally you're going to.
It's human nature.
Because it's human nature.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm going to do it if I find Caymanians anywhere in the world.
Of course.
Right? But I mean, for the type of assimilation that he was talking about, I mean, how can you get that when you are not treating the people here that come here right?
Let me tell you something. Let me go out on a limb here and speak a little bit about the Filipino community, because I think sometimes they get a really bad rap, right?
They do, and it's unfair.
Yeah, they are one of the most closely knit communities here in the Cayman Islands. I mean, they help each other in a lot of different ways. In fact, we could probably learn a thing or two from them when it comes to community unity. They look out for each other, whether it's good, bad, whatever. They're there for each other. Asian cultures, I'm going to make a few generalizations here, are a little bit different. They're more likely, for example, generationally to live in the same home. Some of that is economic, and some of it is just like a cultural thing. They tend to be a lot more subservient. That's why some of y'all men love Asian women. Did you hear that? I mean, maybe I need a little kaboom there to make sure y'all pay attention, because they do have a little bit of a subservient nature about them, right? And so even the way that they share their, I've sat down and broke bread with them, for lack of a better word, in their little homes. And they're like, listen, Sandy, this is how we do it. Each one of us bring something to the table. I brought the rice tonight. I brought the chicken, and we just sit here and we share and we commune with each other. And this is how we make it. So listen, I think that we need to set our ignorance aside. And sometimes in order to do that, it requires us learning about other people and about other cultures. Why are we upset about anybody that comes here and takes advantage of what is happening in the Cayman Islands when they're coming here by invitation? They're not coming here and forcing anything on us. Caymanians, Dexter Barden, I want you to listen to this. If you have a problem with anybody coming here, talk to the Caymanians who are hiring them and bringing them here. Talk to the Caymanians who are marrying foreign nationals, including myself, because I'm going to set you straight and tell you one of the reasons that some of us Caymanians have to actually marry foreign nationals, because some of you Caymanians not got no friggin' sense. And so we're trying to thin out the gene pool a little bit. Imagine if my ignorant Georgetown self get together with an ignorance like Dexter Barden. What a calamity that would be. So thank God I can find somebody if I'm somewhere else to help the gene pool a little bit. I mean, the level of ignorance in this community, and sometimes it comes directly from us as Caymanians, needs to stop. Now, I'm going to be clear. This is the Cayman Islands. Our culture, our people, our way of living should take precedence. But that does not mean, because it should take precedence, that other people, that we have to put other people down and we have to, make other people feel less than if they're invited into this country. That's the difference. For me to have self-love doesn't mean that I have to hate other people. There's a difference.
But Sandra, my mother had a saying: when you throw a stone in a pig pen, the one that squeals is the one that licks, right? And I feel that's why Mr. Dexter called in this morning to go on a rant, because something struck a nerve, and it's not a very
and like I said, then he tried to twist it and talk about, I'm the one who is talking about, these communities and I'm trying to cause division. No, sir. No. You know what is so funny, caller? When we are doing something that we recognize, right? Because in that moment when he said that, the light bulb just went off for me. And I said, you know what is so funny? Mr. Dexter himself recognized that his comments this morning were prejudicial. They were divisive. And so instead of him just copping to that and admitting to that, he tried to accuse me of it. I was like, sir, what the hell are you talking about? On a daily basis. On a daily basis, I try to unite people. I'm like, sir, what did you just say to me? I'm causing division. No, you're causing division. You can't feel less than in your own country. You shouldn't feel less than in your own country. And if you're feeling threatened by anybody, you better try and ask yourself why that's the case. No, sir. What a hot mess. We have another caller in the line. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Sandra. It's hot. It's hot again this morning. But you know, many years ago, and I'm talking about because at least I am 21, 22 years older than you, and we had a community then that we helped each other, we shared with each other, we even got clothes for each other. Was pastors here that used to have what we used to call got all these clothes and shoes for us, for the poorer ones, like back then as a Caymanian community where we helped. But some of us grew up out of that, got 2 pennies more or 2 coppers more, as the elderly say, and rubbed together. Now their noses is up in the air and they don't know how to meet a Caymanian community. I have tried having breakfast with different friends, old friends, get-togethers and stuff like that. It went on for a couple of weeks and then it stopped. I never heard as much excuses, and then we could call ourselves a Caymanian Christian community. That's not right. It's just not right. But I leave you with this. I never found anyone in this island than a Filipino closer community than the Filipinos.
Yes, and like I said, we could learn from that. We could learn from that.
We can learn from that. We you're right. And who holds an argument about that is absolutely wrong. They want to treat people like they're what they would treat, how they would treat their animals if they have any, or if they do not, that's how they would treat them. Just like animals, because they come in this island. Make I tell you, some of them Filipinos are highly educated, that they can't get the job that they would want in this island, so they take what they can get because they want to make themselves better off than what they were in the Philippines. That's why they come. We had to go overseas. Many years ago, all over the world, not we, but our fathers or grandfathers, all over the world, and now we're forgetting who they are, those that are still alive, and how they had to make friends with all kinds of people, including Filipinos, including Japanese, including
yes. I mean that is the history that we see from the Cayman voices of our Caymanians who went abroad. They had to get along with everybody. And imagine when they went abroad, the first thing that they did was they sought out Caymanians, if they could find them, on these ships to form part of the Cayman community. So what is the difference?
You're absolutely right, Sandra. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
it is human.
Right.
Listen to me. It is human nature. And I wish people would try and learn a thing or two about human nature. But it is human nature for people to seek out people who are similar to them. We do it on a subconscious level all the time. You are attracted to people who look like you, who are like you. Caribbean people, Caymanians. If you go, the first thing Caymanians do when they go off to university, if they can't find another Caymanian, they look up Caribbean people. They can say, okay, I can't find any Caymanians. Where my yard is at? Let me try and get some curry chicken and something that they're used to. That is nothing unusual. That is just how human beings are.
Yes,
So I don't know why, I don't know why the conversation has taken this turn into divisiveness this morning, but it's really, really unfortunate.
Yes, ma'am. But you know something? We got some mean, destructful Caymanians that are trying to destroy this little island, and its good name that it had, I must say, but we're destroying our own little country, our own people, and putting our own people down. Good morning, Sandra. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all those that is listening and should agree if they want to agree and they know that I am right. Good morning to all.
Thank you, my love. Have a good one. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, it's me again, Minister from our road. Just to kind of bring
I just want to know. I want to know how much, Minister, how much you getting paid?
Oh, not enough.
Are you getting paid that ministerial salary? No.
Not enough. I wish. But I just wanted to say, to bring the conversation full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Filipinos have that nice dead straight hair.
Yes.
I wonder if Alden have that kind of hair now. Thank you.
Try and behave yourself. Listen, I do want to wrap up the Alden conversation real quick. He is trying to modernize the dress code, no wig, whatever. I ain't got no problems with that. I mean, I think it's fine. A lot of people find those wigs uncomfortable and itchy, and some people associate it with the old colonial ways. Whether we like it or not, folks, we're attached to the UK. That is not history that you can undo. So there's always going to be that colonial attachment. It's like in Grand Court, they still wear their wigs. I thought, though, for some reason that the Grand Court had made it optional, but I always see them wearing their wigs. So I'm going to double check on that because it's probably still required. Yeah, if you're a what do they call it? If you're a silk, which means that you are of a particular rank in the court system, you better put on that wig. That's required. Yes, honey child. Anyway, Alden and his hair will be perfectly fine. Let's see if we can't call this lady's employer. Oh God, I'm trying to move. I'm standing up now. Mr. Dexter and my tea gave me a little energy to stand up. But of course, I have Zeus in here and he don't want to move off my nice cushy mat that is actually my stress mat for my foot. All right, let's see if we can call this employer and see what his story is going to be here this morning. All right. So we have lots of messages and proof of what this lady has said. Because again, you can't come on this show without your evidence together. So she has provided us with all of that via WhatsApp. So let's give this gentleman a call this morning. All right, Rough Seas, good morning. Some real serious immigration infractions going on around the place. Miss Helene said maybe a Brazilian wig. Oh, geez, would be better. I'm
sorry, but the person you have called is...
So, Mr. Leon Connolly of Cayman Night Group is not answering the phone this morning. For some reason, I feel like this name is familiar to me. And did we have a discussion with Mr. Leon before about some other immigration stuff in relation to, ironically, a Filipino who was bringing people in? Now, I'm not going to swear by my memory all the time, but I do feel like this has come up before. Oh, yes. Thank God for WhatsApp. Oh, yeah. So this was back last year. So remember when we had this Filipino lady, she's gone around hoodwinking A lot of people. And I mean a lot, taking money for them, not taking out their work permits, all kind of stuff. Now, this same Mr. Leon Connolly claimed that he had just taken over the business, or she had just started working for him. So he wasn't taking no responsibility for her actions, but supposedly he was going to help resolve it and help to try and get these people their money back. Oh, Mr. Leon, why your name being called up again for? Come on now. Why am I calling your name again today? Answer the phone, sir. You know I'm calling you. And I'm sure you know why. You see, this is what I keep telling y'all. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it ain't gonna happen, honey chill. What are the chances, right, that your name has been called up before in the Filipino community? Community. Dexter, are you bothered yet? The Filipino community, the Jamaican community is also now complaining. What are the chances that you are innocent in any of this? Last time you feigned that you didn't know what was going on. Remember? Oh, I remember. Right? This is what he said back in March. He said, Sandra, March the 6th, Leon here. I'm the owner of the company that Danilin is now working for. Add me in. I'm trying to add you in this morning, but you're not picking up the phone. This all stems back to September of 2021, from my understanding, as I have been digging. But like how I keep saying for all of those that, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry, I had a missed call.
Mr. Leon.
Hi.
Yes, Sandra here. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Sandra.
We have one of your workers calling and complaining this morning.
One of my workers.
Yes. Well, you've now terminated her, so I guess technically she doesn't work for you anymore.
Who's this?
Her name, let me see here now. Hold on. Miss Judy, I believe. Judy? So this would be the Jamaican caregiver that was working for your, what's the name of your company? Aegis Professional Care?
I don't have a Judy though.
She was in the BRAC when she fell ill.
Oh, this lady.
Okay.
Sandra, this is in labor board right now. This woman has, yeah. Trust me, this is in labor board. I'll send you a copy of her claims and my claims. This woman is psychotic.
Why is she psychotic? She just wanted her insurance paid, and you didn't have insurance coverage for her. So what?
So she was sent to Britcade to get signed up for insurance. She actually left her person that she's supposed to care for. Take this one, right? This is when she was supposed to get fired the first time. She is taking care of a 92-year-old lady. And it's her and a child in that house. She leaves. She asks the 92-year-old lady with dementia if it's okay for her to take some time off to go and sort out her insurance.
Okay.
Right? Now, obviously, the reason she's hired is to take care of this lady, not to ask this lady. You ask the family members, right? And you correspond and leave somebody in place.
So let me ask you a question. She has alleged that
no, this is in labor board, man. I know what she's alleged. My response and everything is in labor board.
No, but I want for the clarity of all of our listeners, I want you to break it down for us, right? So
she was live-in. She's asking for overtime. So let me voice this.
But is it true that she's working more than the 40 hours that her contract says?
No, it is not. So what I did is the person that I put to replace her, after she made a claim, I didn't tell her that I was going to use her information to put into government, right? Or for a labor board. I just had a random conversation with a young lady. Hey, how are the family treating you? What's going on? Just to get this information. This lady went to bed anyways, like I said, all this has been submitted from the family. I got references from the family here overseas in the BRAC with all her personalities and everything that she did and her hours that she actually worked. This is all being presented to Labor Board. Trust me.
I mean, listen,
this lady is ridiculous.
Okay, whether she's ridiculous or not, right? You have a right to terminate her if you wish. That's completely a matter for you. But you don't have a right to not have insurance for her. That's required by law.
No. So like I said, she was told, right? Because I signed the documents and I'd already provided it to Britke. She was supposed to go to Britke and get her part of it put in so that she could get active. Now, keeping in mind, she's only been employed for 2 months. She's on a temporary permit, on a temporary contract.
Yeah, but I mean, the law still requires people to have insurance even on a temporary contract.
Ask her to read to you exactly what her release letter said. It stated, because you have not done insurance up, I will cover the expense of that insurance, of the hospital bills. Like I said, this lady, day one she started, she had a contract to be paid a month. She made an argument. She went to the family. She came back to me. The family agreed, okay, you know what? The lady seems to have some issues. We pay every 2 weeks, 15 and 1st. Sandra, on literally the 10th to 11th of every month, this woman is calling me, asking me for a pay. It got to the point where I said, listen, your pay is 15th, 1st, or the next business day after. Should the 15th and 1st fall on a weekend? And this has happened. I don't know what financial issue she's having. Now she's fired and she's trying to find a way to squeeze money out of me. Watch me now, as a young Caymanian struggling, fighting to get everything I am trying to earn. I do not have the time, energy, or patience for this young lady. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that brought her here, and I swear to God, I will not have any other business suffer this woman's personality if I can.
Now,
this woman is negatively impacted my business in so many different ways. It's unimaginable.
No, let me. I mean, I'm trying to.
So you got one side of the story, Sandra.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that she sent you information. I will also forward you my information. I will give you reference numbers for the family in which you work for. I will give you everything that I sent to Labor Board. I'll send you a copy of all of this. All right? Because honestly, before you pick up and show this on the air, following what these people are saying, do the background check. Because honestly,
yeah, but I mean, I have the messages.
My business.
Well, listen, it's not my point to you, Leon. Hold on now. Hold on. If you really want me to be honest here with you this morning, which I'm sure you do, you need to comprehend that this is not the first time that your name has been called on the show.
Exactly. And this
so hold on, Leon. Leon, tell me something. Why your name keeps getting called up in immigration and work permit scams and situations?
Honestly, I've probably got my hands spread a little bit too thin. I've got 4 different businesses.
Then don't be putting it on me, saying that I don't have. No, I'm reaching out to you. I'm reaching out to you.
Being over the ear. I mean, I know you need the listeners and everything else, but I could give you all of this.
Listen.
But no, unreal. I will send you this though. Honestly, I will send you this because one thing I do know about you, you're honest and you're straightforward. After you read everything and you make your assessment, you will actually give me credit if credit is due.
Wow.
That's one of the things I know about you. I will send you
yeah, that's fine because I have a lot of questions. I also have a letter where you've responded to Labor Board telling the inspector not to say anything to her because this is a matter between the two of you. And you know, this ain't got nothing to do with Labor Board. How can you tell Labor Board that?
I have a letter stating that I told them that it has nothing to do with Labor Board. I would never say that. Like I said, I'll just forward you everything that was sent to Labor Board myself. While
you're at it, Damien also wants to know, he says that you're a con artist and that you owe him $12,000 from back in 2014. And you also have a computer and IT business?
Who's Damien and what's this?
Okay. Well, I guess that's so long ago, you might have forgotten about that. Leon, get it together, please. For your sake. This is what I say to people now. Help me help you. And the way in which you do that is by getting your ish together. If you're spreading yourself too thin, as you say, is a likely excuse, that's not an excuse under the law. You need to sort yourself out.
Like I said, Sandra, yes, the young lady's insurance was not up to date. And she left, like I said, I was explaining, she left the family to go and do that. She left a 92-year-old client. That's when she should have got fired the first time. By herself for over 7 hours to go and get this insurance activated. And it still wasn't done. As far as I'm aware, when I inquired into Britke, it still wasn't done. So what did she do for that 7 hours? I have no clue. But this is where we are. All right.
I'm curious, since I have you here on the phone, whatever happened to this situation with the Filipino woman and all those Filipino people that she owed? You said that you were going to step up and try to resolve that. Has that been resolved?
As far as I'm aware, because I had gone down on Miss Danielin about it.
So she still works for you?
No. She's here tied into some immigration situation, all that. Nothing to do with me. I let her go right after the kid, right after our conversation that day. But as is right now, I know she was making payments. Obviously, there's a lot of money that she took. She's been making payments, but I don't know how much along. My lawyer told me to stay away from her and end conversations with her until the immigration case is completed. But I also filed case charges and everything else. So,
what a mess.
Yeah.
You have to make sure it is your legal obligation per the law to make sure that people have insurance from the onset. Right?
I agree with it. And like I told the young lady from the time she touched ground on Island, Brit is where the documentations are. I have everything signed. She knew who to go to, where to go, when to go. That was, and she actually took off time illegally, well, within the company's boundaries illegally, and didn't get it done.
When would you have expected her to get it done? Brit open at 2:00 in the morning? The woman said the day that she came here, landed from the airport, she went straight to the home.
Yes, I took her straight to the home. She's off on Saturdays.
Let me, Leon. Let me say something to you, right? If you're going to be in the business of taking out work permits for people, especially when they care with the elderly and that sort of thing, you can at least give them a little bit of consideration. When people come to a new country, give them a day or two to get themselves sorted out before you actually schedule them for work.
She knew where everything was.
That's Jesus. Leon, you need to be reasonable. And right now you're not being reasonable.
Honestly, until you were in the situation, you would not understand how all this went. And like I said, there's multiple sides to every story.
I'm in the situation?
No, but that's what I'm saying. You were not involved with how this thing played out. And I understand at the end of the day, you do have a podcast. You do have to make this interesting. But
this is it.
I promise you, I took all of
Leon, I can assure you, I don't need you to get listeners. You understand what I'm saying?
I got run. No, don't get me wrong. I got run. But I will shoot you a WhatsApp. Well, no, I'll shoot you an email. Send me your email address, please. I'll shoot you the details. If you feel like I did wrong, then you can follow through with it. It is what it is. But I'll shoot you an email on.
All right.
I'll forward you exactly everything that was sent or between me and I'll forward you exactly what went to Labor Board so you can see for yourself. There's nothing hidden.
All right, Leon. Thanks very much.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye. Contrary to what Leon thinks, we don't need him to be highlighted in order to get listeners, because there's too many people like him is the problem. This entire show could literally be about immigration violations and work permit immigrations every single day. It could be about people who are getting abused and used, because there's too much of it happening on this little rock of an island. So we don't need you for content. What you need to do is try and get your act together and behave yourself. Let's call the lady back, because he has obviously said, he's admitted to not having insurance in place, but he's claiming that that's her fault. She's the reason why it wasn't in place, according to him. The legal obligation falls with the employer, not the employee. And for the previous caller who wasn't sure, who was asking, he had gone through an agency and so forth, and he wasn't sure. Section, hold on, let me get it for you. 11 subsection 1. The heading says duty of employer to provide information to employee. Oh, my apologies. Right. No, that's not the section I'm looking for. Hold on. Oh, this is the Health Insurance Act. Let me just find the exact section. Compulsory section 5. Compulsory health insurance. So it states that every person resident in the Cayman Islands shall, unless that person is covered by a contract of insurance affected by an employer under subsection 2, And we can look at what that is. That's when somebody else, like say, for example, your husband has an insurance policy, then that's different and you're covered by it. So every person resident in the island shall be covered by contract of insurance affected by an employer under subsection 2, be covered by a contract of insurance affected by government under subsection 3. And then there's a category if you're an uninsurable person, affect a standard health insurance contract in respect of themselves and their dependents. Do you see where it says compulsory? Right? It's not optional. And in fact, I think it is under, this is the Health Insurance Act, but you might want to look at the complementary piece of legislation in terms of employment that would then say, you know, it is the employer's responsibility. What a mess. Be covered by a contract of insurance affected by an employer. The employer is the person who's doing the hiring, right? So subsection 2 says, subject to this section, every employer shall affect and continue on behalf of themselves, the employer's dependents, each of the employer's employees, and the dependents of each of the employer's employees, a standard health insurance contract. It is your obligation. You can't pass by law your legal obligation onto somebody else. This person says, good morning, Sandra. In regards to Dexter Bodden's comments, let me tell you that an ignorant person will always be against you and everyone else. I would suggest be familiar with the meaning of community. Thank you and have a good day. Thank you so much. What a hot mess. Thank you so much. Somebody says fever seems to be on now. Consider doctor treatment. Thank you. I appreciate that. I tell you, no, sir. You can't make these things up, really. Good morning, caller. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, morning. How you doing today?
Hey, honey, how are you?
Yeah, listening to your conversation this morning. Very interesting. I've been speaking about this situation with these people on work permits and stuff for decades now, and it doesn't seem true. So all of this that is happening, this isn't by fault, you know. This is by design. This is definitely by design. Neither the universal belief that a melting pot, a country that is a melting pot, is a good thing, is a lie. This melting pot thing is to keep us divided. Believe it or not. I mean, everybody got to be, and that isn't to sound racist or anything, because I might say something too. I understand where Mr. Dexter was coming from. To me, that didn't sound racist. To me, that I don't know. So why do we all touch us and delicate when somebody speak like that? To me, that wasn't racist. The man was just saying it should be one community, even though there's distinction. The word community is distinctive within itself. What he was trying to say is that they shouldn't bring their ways here. They should stick.
I think what you need to. Yeah, I mean, I think what you need to do is listen to how he started out the conversation. He didn't start out the conversation saying that. It was after I started to press him that then he tried to flip it and talk about, oh, we need them to do this and that, and you know, I'm separating the Cayman community and this and that.
I
mean,
I understand that part.
He started to go left field for a different reason.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you that. But what I gotta say is some of these Filipinos are racist people. You know?
Well, can we not say that about everybody who comes here? Are there not some Jamaicans who can't stand Caymanians?
I will go into that too. Okay, right, but we got get wrong where wrong is wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? It don't have anything to do with them being Filipinos. It's the individual persons. If they don't like people of color, you know, there's some of our own people who don't like people of color either.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, you go into some of these shops and the way that where Filipinos or even as just another foreign nationalist, they're looking at. I mean, I get the feeling when I go in there. I don't know if it's just me or what. I'm a brown skinned man. I'm a black. I'm colored, right? I'm proud of it. But I get the feeling like, well, they're thinking, well, you got steal or you got do something.
Hold on a second. You said you're not black. You're colored.
Steal from you.
You're not black. You're colored. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean?
There's a distinction. Brown and black is two different races.
Bobo.
But in census, no, you check it out in census.
Bobo.
Go ahead.
You got one drop of Negro blood, you are considered black. There's no such thing as brown, high yellow, and all this other kind of foolishness that Caymanians want to believe in. Once you have one drop of Negro blood, you're black.
I know, and I'm not disclaiming.
So brown and black, it don't make no difference. You can't say you're colored, but you're not black. You're black. What's wrong with being black?
There's a distinction in some of these. There's a distinction in some of these census around the world that says, or even applications.
Have you ever seen an application form say brown or black?
In the States?
Brown or black? It says black, African American.
I agree, but I'm just saying they have a distinction there. You're colored, you're black, or you're white.
They don't say no. I have never listen to me. I lived in the United States of America, and I've never seen a form that said colored or black as two different options.
I've seen that.
I would love to see that form. If colored is just another word, I guess at some point colored was a nicer way instead of saying somebody black, because quote unquote black people come in all shades and whatever. So maybe colored was a nicer, more political way of saying it. Now they don't even want to use that anymore. They want to say African American or Afro Caribbean or whatever.
Yeah,
same thing for black people.
You're mixed with white people. That's what colored means. If you're black, then you're pure black. You just got lone African blood in you, or the majority of your blood is African. But if you're colored, that means you got a little bit of white, little bit of white.
Oh, somebody said that colored is actually. Somebody said colored is actually a highly derogatory term. Oh, well, thank you for clarifying, because I thought that they were trying to be nice when they called you colored. So you prefer to be called colored than black? So you
no, it don't matter to me. It don't matter to me. I'm just saying. I just said that just to throw that out, just to get the reaction why I got also. You know, it doesn't bother me.
Somebody said
it don't bother me.
Oh God, that might be problematic. But somebody said on the forums there's white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, etc., Native American, but they've never heard of colored and black being separated.
Yeah, in a census of 1870s. That
1870s.
Yeah, the first census that was did for the Cayman Islands, right? The England
1870s.
And they had
why we gotta go back to the 1870s?
No, but I'm just telling you because I seem to lose the traction along the world. The census was actually divided into those three categories.
Well, no wonder I don't know nothing about it if it was in the 1870s. I definitely wasn't born then.
Yeah, right. And I've done it. I saw it modern times also. People still refer to some people still refer to themselves as being colored or being brown skin. But I know I'm black. It's all one thing. We all black. Even if we white, we all black. Everybody came from Africa. But I don't want to take the conversation along that line, right? But I'm just saying, it's the way that this island is done with all these people coming in here on work permits. What did they think was gonna happen? They were
who was bringing them in? Who was bringing them in on work permits? Who's bringing them in?
Listen. I know no fool when it comes to this immigration matter. You know, it's the same Caymanians that is bringing them in, and the wealthy business and want to be Caymanians that don't want to hire their own people. If they're not the wealthy people that is hiring and bringing these people in, then it's the wannabe Caymanians that want to be wealthy, and they take up the same regime that the rich man and the wealthy people are taking, thinking they have personal slaves and disrespecting people. I don't agree with that. Whichever country you're from, that doesn't give you the right. Now, some people would say, "Oh, they're my friends and I love them and stuff," and then still turn around and treat them like no class citizens. You know, we're following the same model. Look at the UK and the United States. Neither country have benefit from immigration in over the last 200 years. Neither country, or I will even go back 500 years, neither country on this earth has benefit from immigration or melting pot situation, as you would say. Building a country, buildings in a country and stuff doesn't improve a country. It's the social ideology behind that country and the people within that country that makes a country good. And that has never happened. Look at what happened to the UK. Look at what happened to the United States. So the whole world is following those models, at least here in the Caribbean. The UK and the United States are practically the same. So Cayman is following their model of immigration. You don't see nobody can see that United States is falling apart through immigration. Nobody can see that UK is falling apart through immigration. They don't bring these people in the country for betterment, you know. They bring the people in the country. Let me
try to.
That is going on there. If the people don't realize it, this is
Let me ask you a question then. When the English people move and the Europeans and everybody else moved to the U.S. and found the native Indians there, what was that called then? Was that immigration or what was that? Except they didn't come with an invitation. They didn't have to get a stamp and a passport. They didn't even have a passport. They just came on a boat and took over and destroyed half of the buffaloes, killed off the Indians and everything else.
Well,
so
exactly.
I mean,
That's what I'm talking about.
The migration of people has always happened all over the world all the time. You can't stop human migration.
It's a biblical sign. What the Bible said the people will be oppressed one by another, a nation for a nation, a brother for a brother. So it is a biblical sign for those who haven't seen it and for me to bring it down into earth reality today. It's a biblical sign. So we got to learn from those signs. And even though migration is happening, that don't mean that we got to surrender to the ways of wickedness under that regime. You could treat those people that come in here nice, enough. You could treat them nice, pay them fair, and they got a part to do too. Not allowed. You hear what the consul just said? Don't allow the Jamaican consul what you had there. I think that lady that had called him was a Jamaican consulate or something. Don't allow this to be slaves.
Yes.
So some of these people that come in here allowing themselves to be slaves, they're keeping quiet, and they've been keeping quiet for years and years. One that this immigration thing happened because they're afraid to lose the job and they gotta go back and eat rice and eat beans in their own country. That almighty dollar was keeping the whole world corrupted. So that is what is going on here. It's all over the world. So as long as the people don't talk, that's the same thing that happens. You don't see that what was going on with slavery. People were
you're coming in a little bit muffled now. I don't know what you did to your phone, but you're coming in muffled. All right, my dear.
So
yes. Well.
Better now?
Yes. I'm gonna have to process some of what you said because it's a lot to take in. All right, my dear.
Just give me a chance. One more time.
Okay.
That's what happened during the time of slavery. The people were afraid to talk, or they say, "Oh, the slave master gonna beat me," or "The slave master gonna lynch me," so they wouldn't talk. So this is the same thing going on now. Instead of lynching them and beating them, they cancel the permit. So you know, as long as the people don't talk, we never get no better. We'll have this
That
conversation.
we can agree with.
Years from now,
yes, that part we can definitely agree with. Thank you so much, caller.
Yep.
All right, my dear. Okay. That my brain is a little bit combobulated over after that one. This comment says, colored is a term for mixed race and an official race in South Africa, coined to segregate people of mixed race with more black presenting in their skin. It's absolutely derogatory. Oh, wow. And it's actually part of the South African regime. So it sounds to me like you don't want to refer to yourself as colored. This other person says race is a social construct. This notion of one drop of Negro blood makes you black is actually American. Well, that's definitely how they feel. And to be fair, that has come out of their slavery. And I mean, listen, if that's how they're going to define Afro, now we call them African Americans, that's how they've done it. They say if you go to Brazil, it's the opposite. In the past, people have claimed the one drop rule for white blood, meaning that they would make themselves less black if they could claim some colonizer history. Race doesn't exist in science or nature. We made it up to divide and conquer. Guy Harrison, who used to live here, wrote a great book about it. It's called Race and Reality. Oh, wow. Another person says, thing is, if you're an a-hole, color is any way you want. I do believe the caller is prejudiced and everybody that ate him and his, oh, well, the Bible makes it okay. Lord have mercy. Another person says, I made friends with people around the world, and I am more in the modern generation of Caymanians. However, I made better friends with foreigners than Caymanians. Caymanians are so divisive, even to their own families. And just to note, Filipinos are very mixed people because a lot are part Spaniard, of Spaniard descent. Not all of them have straight hair. There is black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, and so on. They're talking about on the form. Biblical signs, empires rise and fall thousands of years before the Bible. What a hot mess. Another person says, as part of the, again, this colored term, apartheid regime, which Nelson Mandela fought against, and it was dissolved, important to note. My goodness. Lord have mercy. Another person says, good morning, Sandra. Is it possible that we should be preaching love and affection rather than black and white? Can we try to be colorblind? We can try, but I can tell you, well, caller, good morning.
Morning. I'm going to upset everybody.
Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Yes.
Because this issue of color is neither black nor white.
It's high yellow. One must be. Send me one message. You posted that video on Facebook with my high yellow behind showing, but that's okay. I was like, oh, Lord. Only in the Cayman Islands we talking foolishness about high yellow.
Well,
high yellow sounds like a dog. Come on over here, high yellow.
I normally don't get down in these conversations, but I think since it's on the table, I'm just gonna go for it and upset everybody today.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
The people who are who consider themselves white and don't like black people, and I'm using their language, not mine. They're wrong. And the people who are black and don't like whites because they don't like whites are also wrong. And the truth of the matter is that there's just one human race. And we're all one color. You know what that color is?
What is it?
Brown.
We're all brown?
We're all brown. Even those that you perceive to be black are also brown. Those who are white are also brown. The difference between the shades is an element called saturation. So white and black are neutral colors, right? And black and white hide it. And you use white to desaturate color. So if you took, let's say you took, look it up, look at the color brown and the different shades of brown that you can get.
Mm-hmm.
When you add white to brown, you can get to a point where it looks beige. And if you keep adding white, you'll get to a point where it can go almost to white. Of course, you keep adding white, you'll go to pretty much what just looks like white. But I challenge you to take something that's truly white and you put it next to someone who thinks of themselves as white, and you will see the shade of brown I'm talking about. This is something that's well understood by people who use Photoshop, for example, to do color grading.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you take away the white out of the mixture, you go back to brown. And if you add black, you get, well, darker than the brown that you have. So the point I'm making to you is this, is that we're all different shades of brown. This is not complicated. It's just one human race. And what's really being talked about when color is being talked about is the evil in people's heart, the hatred, the bad-mindedness. That's what's really being talked about. Because scientifically, there's only one color, and we're just different shades of that color. I challenge you to look at someone who you consider to be black and see if you see any brown in them. Do an experiment. There's tools online that can demonstrate this to you very easily. We're all brown, just different shades of brown.
All right, my dear.
So now that I have everyone upset, have a good day.
I don't know if we're upset. We might be confused about that one, but we have to think about it. I don't think we're upset. We just need to have a think about that particular one. What a hot mess. Okay. Well, 936-2626. What a thing. No, sir. Whew, some days you just have to go with it. Rough Seas says, what are you talking about? Saturation? I'm confused. Good morning, caller.
Yeah.
Jason says, laughing out loud. What really going on this morning?
I had anxiety listening to Danny. I know I understand he was going to make someone upset, but
Lord Jesus.
Man, look,
after today, we might all have anxiety.
Sandy, can we take a little deep breath for like 2 seconds because I was holding my breath. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Now, when it comes into the race and my idea, right, and I'm going to just say it in public because if we want to be spitting or making people upset, I'm pretty sure they're going to get upset with this one too.
Okay.
So it's that time in the morning.
Yes.
And anyway, right, if we go back to World War II, where Adolf Hitler went and did his own experiment, then if we want to go back into that time, I mean, that's okay with us if we want to comply to that, but frig that. I'm sorry for using the bad language, but that happened already. That man dead and gone, done. I don't know. He probably in Argentina because they never seen black people before. And
who hasn't seen black people before? Argentina?
No, them native Argentinians. Some of the ones that don't travel, like how some of us Caymanians don't travel. Huh? You don't think that when they come to Cayman, they don't feel blessed that they actually see dark-colored people?
In Argentina?
Yeah, I telling you, man, I got one friend in Argentina, blue eyes, kind of gray. I can't tell if it's green or what. But
really?
White.
Okay.
White. Their language as well, right? And make me look brown. And I understand where Danny coming from, but you see, in some nations where they call themselves third world, they understand it a little bit better than us. And I remember when I was going to school, and primary school, we always had the little song, Jesus loves the little children. And it says red and yellow, black or white. I've always looked at it that way, I've always looked at it that way. You know who the yellow people was to me? I'm going to say it out in public. I don't really care who want to think of it bad, but the Asians. when you really think about it and you go and watch anime, majority of their animes, their cartoons are yellow people or some shade of a creamish, I don't know. Right? I like the colors. I like colors. I deal with colors. You see, is when they use colors for symbols and it don't mean the real meaning.
Yes.
It kind of go, race and all that thing. My grandfather is a black man. I'm white as can be. Majority of the people are like, how you so white? Like, why the hell you worried about how I so white? Just because now I went to a country where it don't have no sun and I come back a little bit more pale in my Caribbean color. Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? It makes you think, how do people really categorize you by race? Like, I go by your culture. If you're Jamaican, I go by you as a Jamaican, regardless if you black or white. You can go by the accents, it's more clear. Right? Or if you is a Filipino, I could tell you as a Filipino. Your English is not too Asian because Filipinos have a little bit more, they catch on to the dialect. Come on now. We're not dumb.
All right.
You.
Thank you.
Son, those type of things of race, we shouldn't even be here talking about it. Like,
well, we got to talk about it because we're human beings and not talking about things allow things to fester. So I don't have an issue talking about it.
Checking people's colors and trying to pick out the right colors and whatnot and eyes and all of those things. People go back to the World War II days and realize what happened when German Nazis came and do their thing. If they had reached the Caribbean, I guarantee all of us would be in trouble.
Okay, thank you, my dear.
But came on more than we think.
All right. Magnum Opus says actually Argentina has a black population. Their history and contributions to Argentina's struggle for independence has been systematically forgotten. What a hot mess. Good morning, caller. Hello.
Good morning, Sandra.
Hi.
So, now, you see where this conversation going?
Listen,
you see where this going?
Somebody just said, oh my God, I need to go to counseling after this morning. The callers keep getting worse. But seriously, we have issues here.
Yeah, of course we got issues, Sandra. First of all, then, I love your brother, and I know you trying to say. And brethren, before that, I know what you were trying to say too. But then, honestly, if I put black and white on a palette and I paint, and I ain't getting nothing called brown, I'm getting gray. But does it even matter?
Jason Carter says, is this a social experiment to show how fool and ignorant some of these people are today?
But so I think the overriding point is this. Point is this. At no point in the history of the world has the quality of character and or the lack thereof of a man or a woman ever been dictated by the color of their skin.
Hello?
That is what the reality is, y'all. Come on, man. I mean, geez, you got me feeling like
you have to call the other line, please. Call the show line. 93.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. We just had somebody calling the other line. All right, my dear. Thank you so much. I couldn't agree with you more. Let's look at the content of somebody's character. Yes, sir.
Let's look at this. There's a recurring theme in all of this, and it is people taking out work permits for other people when what we have is a system which is a breeding ground for corruption and problems and issues. And I think that is where it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed from the standpoint, if you need somebody working, you go out and do it yourself, man. Because
thank you.
Obviously, this is one bag of trouble after the other.
Thank you, my dear. All right, folks. Calls blowing up here today. Good morning, caller.
Yes, hi, Miss Sandra. Good morning.
Morning.
Just to add more fun to this thread.
Couldn't get any crazier, right?
Yeah, Asian, like the previous caller said, has kind of like a greenish tinge. Then they must have dropped from Mars and like what the? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. What a hot mess. I don't even know what to say. Lord, have mercy. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh. Al Ebanks, good morning. Says separating people by color was made up by people with inferior mentality. Stacy says seems like the callers this morning running on Red Bull instead of coffee and tea. Oh my Lord. What a thing. Envy is a serious thing, says Damien. Live says the problem is not race. It comes down to attitude and the fact that people need to stay in their lane. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning. Minister from Road calling again.
Yes, Minister.
Yes, ma'am. No, I just wanted, I sent you some pictures.
Yes, they're ready. Hold on. I pulled up the last map here. Would you like to start with the map first in your explanation, Minister?
Sure, we can do that, right?
All right. Yes, sir.
So a little bit of an education class here.
Yes, teacher.
As you can see from the map,
yes,
right? Most dark-skinned peoples exist near the equator. And the reason that is because we have that's where most of the sun is. The reason why we have dark skin is because we have certain cells in our skin called melanocytes that create this thing called melanin, right? And that's what protects us from the sun's rays, from the radiation of the sun's rays. Yeah?
Yes.
As you move further away from the equator, you don't need as much melanin because the sun is not out for as long. Matter of fact, dark-skinned people do really poorly in colder climes the further away you get from equator, because darker skinned people need more sunlight to make the vitamin D, right? Whereas lighter skinned people in the regions further away from the equator, they don't need as much sunlight. They don't need to stay out in the sun as long to get their vitamin D. So I say all that to say skin color is not indicative of a race. I mean, there is one human race. It's just that the skin color and certain other features developed over time depending on where your ancestors were from.
Okay.
Now, ultimately, all humans came from Africa. That is an established fact. But as we as a species migrated out of Africa, we started to develop, and gene pools got smaller in different regions, and other environmental pressures. That's how we develop, the distinct features that we see in other parts of the world, right? So that's why we have, quote unquote, white people, like in Europe, they have the lighter skin, the looser hair, the narrower noses, the thinner lips, whereas closer to the equator, you have, the coarser hair, the broader noses, the broader lips, the darker skin. All of those were genetic traits that developed to help us survive in the environments where our ancestors were from.
Sorry.
Right? So when you look at the other pictures that I sent you, going back to Denny's point, right? There was an artist, a photographer, I forget her name, but what she did was she went all around the world and she took pictures of different people from different parts of the world, different walks of life, different ages, different sexes. And when she took a picture of them, she took a single pixel, because it was a digital photograph. She took a single pixel from each person's nose and then took that color and compared it to the Pantone system that they have, painting system, right? And as you can see, nobody fits white, nobody fits black. They're all shades of pink and orange and brown and I mean, I'm on the phone. I can't.
No, we're looking at it. We're looking at it.
So, I mean, people really need to get over this whole thing. I mean, yes, color exists. Only a blind person can't see that. But but race now, there really is no such thing. It's all one human race.
Wow. Yeah. All right, my dear. Appreciate the good educational lesson. It's so interesting to look at these people on these on the slides here, and they have like Pantone 66-3C. So interesting. Listen, people are beautiful in all different shapes and sizes and colors, and features. Look at Pantone 59-9. See at the top, she's got red, curly hair, freckles. The lady to the left of her has freckles, but more dark hair. Listen, folks, we just have to, I wish we didn't see color, but unfortunately we all grew up in a world where we're bombarded from the day that we're born with colorism and color and obsession with it. It's just really, really crazy. You hear very young children talk about it and stuff as well, because they're so confused at kindergarten. They're so confused about, oh, why am I the only colored child in my class or whatever? Or person of color or darker skin. Like they don't even know how to describe it. They don't even know how to say it to you. They just know that they look different. I guess it's those differences that make us unique. Magnum Opus says, yes, skin color is another result of evolution, nothing more, nothing less. The social construct of race was created with the goal of creating an us and them situation. Lord have mercy. I had a video I wanted to play, but we don't have enough time now for it. So we're going to cue that video up for tomorrow. Celine says, thanks, you're so right, to that caller. Gabby says, I don't know why everything has to be racist. We're all God's children, and that's the only thing that should matter. We all bleed the same color. Well, that's definitely one thing that is the same. I tell you. I don't know, honey child. Everybody in my household has light brown eyes but me. Lighter brown eyes. Even Zeus has lighter brown eyes. I have very dark brown eyes. Marlon and Gigi have lighter brown eyes. Miss Stacy, I guess your eyes would probably be dark brown like me. They're actually not black. I know a lot of people think that we have black, like the pupil of your eyes black, but it's actually not. Al says, I got my DNA results back. I'm 99% human. Yes, sir. What a hot mess. Speaking of that, I'm going to have a look at my 23andMe while we're talking about race and color. And I'm going to go have a look at my results again. Let me go see now. I can tell you what part of Africa I'm connected to. I got to do an African trip. That's definitely on my bucket list. Who knows? I might be able to go over there and find a family member. You know that, by the way, speaking of races and all this kind of stuff, you know that everybody has a twin somewhere in the world, not just one. But statistically speaking, there's probably at least 5 people that look identical to you. Did I tell you all about this? How I've done a little bit of research on this? It is the most fascinating thing. All right, Mr. Leon has sent his emails through. Miss, the young lady there has sent her stuff through as well. Leon, I'm going to read to you. You're probably listening this morning. So I'm going to read to you some of the comments from people about your situation. Because at some point, you have to stop finding these excuses for your non-compliance. Oh, maybe you're taking on too much. You got your hands full. The law doesn't care about any of that. And I dare say that if you continue along this road, you're going to find yourself in a whole heap of trouble. So Ms. Vernita says, Leon, you need to get rid of some of these businesses. You seem to have too many businesses that you cannot handle. Lord have mercy. Miss Aline says, Sandra has a memory like an elephant to Rasta. I remember that conversation too. Mr. Leon Famous. Yeah, the second I have to start calling your name more than once about the same kind of thing, I'm more likely to take the sides of the person because, hello, mix up, love, mix up. Get yourself together. Bevon Connolly says, Miss Sandra, Leon is salt soaping you. I haven't heard that phrase before. Salt soaping you. What exactly does that mean? Alejandro says, everything has nothing to do with him, but he hired them, right? First Lady says, this man doesn't care. You can hear it in his voice. What a hot mess. Livana says, our own Caymanians don't want to work. And when foreigners come here and work, they complain. Stop complaining, get up and go to work, be it for $6 or $60. an hour. It's better than nothing. Alejandro says if aliens were to discover us, we'd be like chameleons to them. Fascinating, right? Probably not. Aliens are probably more intelligent than us, and they probably think we're so stupid, and they're going to be looking at us like, let's just take them over to see if we can't make them more intelligent. No, sir. Oh yes, this person said this. Let me share this one. This is a good one. To put it all together and in context. Here we go. This person sent a photo for our radio listeners that says white, black, straight, gay, religious, atheist, pirate. And it's the skeletons of everybody. But this is the funny thing is the pirate is missing one of his legs. Every other skeleton looks fine, but the pilot missing a leg, half a leg. What a hot mess, y'all. Oh my gosh. Ooh, what to do? Let me see here now. Oh, by the way, let me just check messages here. Oh, yes. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. Dexter here again.
Hi, Dexter.
I got a better attitude than he does.
Ooh, what a heat.
There was a guy had on a T-shirt the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and it had birthplace - Earth, race -
Mm-hmm.
human,
Mm-hmm.
politics - freedom,
Mm-hmm.
religion - love. I thought that was a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful way of expressing it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so
You know,
much.
it's so sad that we have lost our humanity, and it really makes me. Sometimes I shouldn't be conducting myself because I'm a better person than that, and I shouldn't lower myself to his standards when he was criticizing the Filipinos.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's no perfect human being in the world.
Yeah.
But a lot of Filipinos that come here, they are well educated. They come here because of political, financial problems in their country, and people have to understand they are humans like all of us. Don't go into a supermarket and you see somebody sweeping the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and you think that they're lesser of a person
Mm-hmm.
than I am. You know,
Yes.
the best thing for you to do is to uplift them. It says, you're doing a great job. Your job is as important to this store or this business as the manager and the owner, because they will not do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, treat people with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And if we treated people with respect, we would get respected more as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Caymanians, my Caymanians have really lowered their humanity to where it's at now. I don't know I don't have the quick fix for it, but it's because of what their attitude, their work ethics. These are the things that people are looking for: a good person with a good attitude, good work ethic. If you get paid from 8 o'clock till 4 o'clock, you get paid for that. So you give the best you can.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Sandy.
Thank you, darling.
You have a wonderful day.
You too. So listen, I want to encourage everybody to, for Christmas, give your loved one of these tests. I don't care if it's 23andMe or the other one. I think it is interesting to see where you come from and know a little bit about your history. So, I'm 80% sub-Saharan African, 76.2% West Africa. And then they break it down: Nigerian, Ghana, Liberian, Sierra Leone. Then we have Senegambian and what? Something else. And then broadly West African, Congolese, a little bit of that, 2.4%. African hunter-gatherer, 0.6%. Broadly Sub-Saharan African, 1.4%. And then we got a little European mixed in at the bottom for good measure. A little bit of Indigenous American. Oh, man, I was hoping that I could have been more Indigenous American than that. Only 0.5%? Oh, gosh, darn it. I could have gone and get some Seminole money. I wonder if I can get anything for being 0.5%. And then in more recent times, we've got Mexico and Central America. We've got Belize, Bay Islands, Honduras. They got 3 areas there. We have Africa. Oh, look, they finally added Cayman. Oh, Cayman wasn't on here before. Afro-descendant peoples of the Cayman Islands. We fall in the Caribbean. Yes, look at that. Woo! Cayman on the map, honey child. And look at the connection. They have the cone here between Cayman and Jamaica. But that is so interesting because this is the first time that I'm actually seeing Cayman showing up in the breakdown. Jamaica has been there, St. Elizabeth Parish. And you guys know that my grandfather's from St. Elizabeth. He left Jamaica, I think, when he was like 13 years old or something. And he actually, apparently, my cousin was telling me this, he lived in Belize. So probably one of the reasons why I have some Belizean connections is he probably went there and had kids. So I might have some cousins or something in Belize. Who knows? Or if he had kids, they would be aunts, right? No, wait a minute. Yeah. There'd be aunts and then cousins, potentially. So yeah, that's probably where Belize comes in. But I do not know. I'm so curious about Honduras because I don't know where the Honduras connection would come in. And it has the Bay Island. So it has Bay Island Department, Atlantida Department, Francisco Morazan Department, and Cortez. Anybody know where the connection is in our family from Honduras? Do let me know. So, Gabby, this is my 23andMe results that I've done. I've done the test. And I would recommend that you all do this test. It is amazing. They give you so much information. And can I tell you, every single time I talk about this, I'm hoping that somebody runs out and does it. Because of me talking about this before Gabby, a woman has discovered right here in the Cayman Islands, she has discovered who her mother is in Jamaica. She did the test, which linked her to a niece, right? She reached out to the niece, which linked her to her sister that she didn't know. And then the sister, they did the test and she found her mom. Big woman in her 30s or maybe even 40s, but big woman. Mm-hmm. So I have all of my little relatives here, honey child. This is how I now know that I'm a bear. Uh-huh. I got all these West Bay connections. I got people all over the world. This young lady here, she's a third. No, hold on. Where'd she go? This young lady, Tyra Powell, it says that she's a first cousin once removed. But the interesting thing about it is that means that her and I are connected through her mom, most likely, is my cousin, but we don't know who that is. So we got some connections there. She's a young girl. She's pretty young. And she's in Birmingham, England. And she's like, yeah, my mom's people are from the Cayman Islands. I'm like, look at that. Marianne McField. We know I'm family to the McFields from town. Rashana Hides. Now, this was kind of interesting because I first saw the connection. Now, Rashana is Rolston's niece, right? And so I first saw this connection and I thought to myself, I said to Rolston, I said, Rolston, I think we're family. And he's like, no, you must be family. I know, first son, Rolston's daughter. And he said to me, no, you're probably family on Sheena's side, his wife's side. And I said, I don't know, because I got a lot of West Bay connections, Naina. Sorry. And then the more I looked at it, it has to be on Rolston's side of the family. Because his niece for his sister is showing up, plus another cousin, Ronnie. Is it Ronnie Anglin? Another Anglin. So you can go here and you can actually type in the name. So you can do it based on, let me see. You can sort it by family name. So these are all the Anglins that I'm related to. So as you can see, we got Ronnie, Cheryl Anglin, Z Anglin, AJ, Anya Anglin, GT, Jasmine Anglin. So there's a lot of Anglins here. Somebody said, must check and see if I'm related to any Bushes. Oh, here, you know. They want to see if I related. Not directly. Lorena Bush, she's a fourth cousin, it says. Isabel Bush. But all the Bushes probably related to the Anglins and stuff as well. They all kind of mix up. But let me see who else. So the Ebankses, this is where I was like, oh my God, look at the West Bay connection. So when I type in Ebankses, of my 1,500 connections, my 1,500 relatives, 117 are Ebankses, right? And now they might have a different name. So like this young lady, Nia Comey something Broadhurst, she probably married a Broadhurst. But she's an Ebanks. So you see how they do it? It is so fascinating. Oh my gosh. And then it tells you fourth cousin. And then you click on it. It'll tell you how they suspect that you're actually related. So me and this person, Carol Blake, she lives in London. It says that you and Carol may share a set of third great grandparents. And then it kind of shows you how that likely happened. So you could also come from different generations, removed cousins, or share one ancestor, as in half cousins. But it is pretty spot on. So, sorry. So Timothy, this is Timothy Solomon, says that he's my first cousin, which is absolutely correct. I know Timmy. That's my first cousin for true. Anise Small, first cousin once removed. So at first I was like, who the hell is Anise? That's my cousin Roger's daughter. So she is my first cousin once removed, which makes her my second cousin. It is just fascinating. So here's me. Here's my first cousin. And then here she is. So that's why they say first cousin once removed, because she's a child of my first cousin. And it says it here. Your first cousin once removed is either the child of your first cousin or a parent of your second cousin. Isn't that fascinating? So listen, Gabby, 23andMe is the test. There's another DNA test called, what's the other one called? Ancestry. So Ancestry.com, they have the #1 selling consumer DNA test. I'm going to do both. I'm actually going to order both. It's just that I started with this one and I'm just so fascinated by it all. I haven't been able to get past it, but it gives you so much interesting information about health traits. And it tells you a whole lot of stuff about your sleep, your likelihood of developing certain things that you're predisposed to. Ooh, honey child, like it'll look at variants that you might have. So listen to this, chronic kidney disease, it actually had a variant that was detected. So it says that you have one of the 2 genetic variants that we tested for, but then it might tell you that that doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? Like certain ethnicities, talking about race and color and all this kind of stuff, certain ethnicities might just be more prone to having these genetic variants. Now, it doesn't mean, again, that you have it or that you're necessarily going to get it, but it is very, very super interesting. So I have this G6PD deficiency. So this says that this is a common genetic condition caused by defects in an enzyme called glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase or G6PD. Hold on, let's see how this word is pronounced. Oh, honey child, that's a big word. That's a big word. I might do the ancestry one next year. Dehydrogenases or Docreductus. And what the hell? You gotta have a freaking degree to pronounce these words. All right, hold on. Let's see if we can get a pronunciation on this one. Gosh, thank God for Google. So this one is pronounced dehydrogenase. Okay. So it helps protect red blood cells from damage. In people with G6PD deficiency, red blood cells are destroyed upon exposure to certain environmental triggers. That's important, which can lead to episodes of anemia. This test includes 2 common variants linked to G6PD. And this is interesting because I have had physicians tell me before that I have to be very careful in terms of potentially being anemic. So even once I had surgery and the physician was like, we need to give you some additional blood post-surgery, I didn't end up taking it because the nurse was horrible trying to get the blood in. But anyway, so then we have an age-related macular degeneration. It says that although a variant was detected, it's not likely any sort of increased risk. So it tells you a lot, girls and ladies and gents and little boys and girls. It tells you all sorts of super interesting stuff. Like, what is the likelihood that I have freckles? What is the likelihood of me having a particular eye shape? Traits. So there's like 34 of these. Cliff chin, dimples. So you see here it says cheek dimples, 62% chance that you do not have dimples. And sure enough, I don't have dimples. 95% chance you do not have a cleft chin. I do not have a cleft chin. 56% chance you have never had dandruff. I probably have had dandruff, so that's probably not right, but that's interesting. Earlobe, it says 71% chance that you have a detached earlobe. I don't even know. I have to go look at the earlobe. I think it's detached, I guess. 93% chance you have wet, sticky earwax. Okay, doesn't everybody have wet, sticky earwax? I don't know. Eye color. So you know how I was saying that my eye color is like the dark brown? It says 91% chance of dark brown eyes. And that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, that's spot on. I want to get my daughters done. Finger length ratio, 59% chance that your ring finger is longer than your index finger. Which one is the ring finger again? The index finger is the oh God, hold on. The ring finger is where you wear the ring is longer than genetics. 59% that your ring finger is longer than your index finger. This is the index fingers, right? Yeah. So yeah, they're right about that too. Ring finger being, I guess, is it this one? Or this one? The middle finger. Is the middle finger ever the ring finger? It's this one. So the ring finger is, yeah, a little bit. It is longer. Yeah, okay. It's longer. Freckles. 70% chance you have few, if any, freckles. And I think that's about right. Hair photo bleaching. 70% chance you experience hair photo bleaching. And then it tells you like what photo bleaching is if you need to know more about it. Hair texture. 34% chance of slightly wavy hair. Okay. Light or dark hair. 67% chance of dark brown hair, I guess. 64% chance that you had little or no hair at birth. It was probably little. I don't know. Red hair, 99% chance you do not have red hair. Skin pigmentation, 73% chance of light brown skin. I don't know if it's light or not. Stretch marks, 69% chance that you have stretch marks. I actually don't have any, I don't think. So that's a little off. Toe length ratio, a unibrow. Don't have one of those. Now, this one was completely wrong. Can I tell you one that was absolutely wrong. This one says 81% chance you do not have a widow's peak. Folks, you might be able to see it anymore because, my hair not what it used to be. But I have had, and it used to come all the way down here, I have had a very pronounced widow's peak my entire life. So that one was wrong. Good morning, caller.
Hi, Miss Sandra, how are you doing?
Good,
I was
darling.
trying to catch you on the radio, but it went off. So I'm not on air, right?
Yes, you are. We're still live in social media.
Oh, anyway, just to say this, I have come to the understanding that they have proven that to every skin color there is actually the matching dirt. But you said, thus you are and thus you will return to. I've heard that. No, I've heard that.
In the matching dirt. I got you.
Yes.
Thank you, my dear.
And on top of that, if we could just get out of the skin, because I don't know of any store that you can go and select a skin color.
Yeah, that's for sure. Although there are light bleaching creams and stuff, which a lot of people are killing themselves with.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just accept yourself, because at the end of the day, what has come to me is this. Just look at the vastness of the wisdom of the creator of all things. If there was only one kind of flower and one color of flower, how boring.
Absolutely.
If there was just one kind of tree, in height or whatever, how boring it would be. If there was all Chinese people or all tall people or all black people, how boring it would be.
Exactly.
God is a God of variety.
Yep.
If there was only cows, how boring it would be.
I know.
We have to see the vastness of the variety of the creator of all things. And at the end of the day, for us as human beings, value who you are, because at the end of the day, everybody have the same skeleton, white bones, same red blood, and all of that, and the organs, they all function. So come out of these little trivialities.
Yes.
And just value yourself as a masterpiece of God's creation.
Thank you, my dear.
And step out of the ignorance. It's not worth it.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, darling.
Bye-bye.
So, good message there. They talk about bunions more likely than average to have had a bunion. I haven't yet, knock on wood. More likely to be able to match a musical pitch, apparently. Really? Child, they haven't heard me try to sing. Fear of heights, more likely than average to be afraid of heights. Fear of public speaking, less likely to have a fear of public speaking, apparently. All this stuff has you're genetically predisposed to these things, which a lot of us think are, environmental things. I guess the environment can make a difference. But it says based on your genetics and other factors, you are less likely to have a fear of public speaking. Many factors can influence your chances of having a fear of public speaking, and they have identified 802 genetic markers that are associated with a fear of public speaking. In addition to genetics, other factors such as age, sex, and ancestry can also influence it, but it says 66% I'm not likely to have a fear of public speaking. Isn't this interesting? And then they tell you about what the fear of public speaking is, how they get their results. I mean, wow. This stuff is next level. Flat feet, less likely than average to have flat feet. Hair thickness, it says less likely to have thick hair. Misophonia, less likely to hate chewing sounds. Oh, misophonia. Less likely more often than others. What? Likely bitten more often than others. Oh my God, this is so true for mosquitoes. Mosquito bite frequency. Oh. Fewer mosquito bites. Oh, some people may feel, Sandra, based on your genetics, you are likely to get more mosquito bite than others. Yeah, I believe that. I believe they love me. Ugh. Motion sickness, less likely to experience it. Photic sneeze reflex. I don't even know what that is. Wake up time. Likely to wake up around 7:27 a.m. Listen, they have it all. Taste and smell. It says that I'm likely I can't taste bitter. Cilantro taste aversion, ice cream flavor. It says a 50-50 chance of preferring vanilla or chocolate ice cream. So child wants an ice cream, I can take it. Which is probably true. I don't have it says 55% prefer vanilla. Yeah, I'm not really too choosy about vanilla versus chocolate ice cream. I like all the ice cream. So some of it is just like fun stuff, but some of it is really, really super interesting. For example, it even talks about my diabetes and the fact that that is something that I need to watch. Health predispositions, carrier status, wellness, traits, and there's more that you can do. Like you can submit more stuff to them. And can you believe it? All of this from spitting in a damn vial, giving them a little bit of a saliva sample. They were able to run a full DNA profile on me. Now, I'm going to do the other one because I know that some people only do one and not the other one. So I think it would be interesting to get them both done. It talks about like insomnia, depression, polycystic ovary syndrome, lupus. Oh, what does it say about lupus? Discover your genetic. Oh, I think you have to preview. This is a preview report. So, of course, they want you to sign up and get more stuff. But the more you know, the better. Believe me. Genetic testing is where it's at. So get it done. You might be surprised. Some people say they don't want to know because they might find people, relatives, they don't want to know if their dad had other outside children. Listen, out of business with none of that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care. I'm all about it. I believe in having more information than not. So go to Amazon. Let me tell y'all how to get this test for normally a really, really good price. If you go to Amazon.com, they're always running specials on these DNA tests. So right now, and they have different ones. So 23andMe DNA test kit, do the Ancestry one. So right now, depending on which one you get, they have like a premium membership bundle, which has the genetic insights, including health and ancestry services for $159. You can get one for $129. And then the most basic one is $79. And then a lot of times that's on special down from $119. So a lot of times they put them on sale as well. So Ancestry DNA starts at $50 basically. They have one for $49 and one for $59. So I'm going to do the Ancestry DNA as well. I'm going to add that one to my kit. And then what I did was when I went to Miami, like the next trip, funny enough, I had mine before COVID. I got both my husband and I test so that we could, because I thought, hey, this is a fun thing. So the Christmas before COVID, I got it. Then we went into COVID lockdown and it sat in a drawer for all that COVID time. And then post-COVID, the first trip that we took overseas, I'm like, you know what? Let's take your test. So I took it with me, and in the hotel, I spin in it, put it in the thing, put it in the mail, and we got our results back. And, they send it to you on the phone because you sign up for the app. Now, their most interesting thing for my husband, you guys know he's from Jamaica. So I thought too, okay, I'm going to see some African ancestry for him and whatever. Not one bit. When I tell you not even 0.2% African, everything straight from India, different parts of India. That's it. And I was like, really? I mean, to look at him, I was like, maybe he's got a little bit of African. Nothing. Not an ounce. All Asian. I was surprised. I was more surprised about that than finding out about my 20% almost European ancestry. What a mess. But it's interesting to know. Gabby says, I'm definitely going to do one for the new year. I already have my tree with them. Yes, it's absolutely amazing. Al says, imagine me paying a fee to find out I'm human. The capitalist is alive and well. It's more about the other stuff, Al, that I think is interesting. I wonder if you and I are family, actually, because where does your e-banks come from? You have a West Bay e-banks connection? I bet you're my cousin. I would want to know. Go ahead and find out. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. No harm in knowing. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm trying to remember what else I was supposed to do today. I can't even remember, honey child. All I know is I got to get to work. Y'all, please have a beautiful day. It was a very interesting conversation. Mr. Leon has replied back and said he admits that he was wrong in terms of not paying the insurance. You know, you can't keep doing these types of things. He won't admit that he was overworking her. I'm going to agree with her. And I'm going to say that woman is probably being overworked. Just do the right thing, folks. How hard can it be to do the right thing? Hello. Y'all have a good day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.